The favorite in those simple black with the white cap colors, Lord Derby. The famous 3-year-old races in England and the United States, of course, named after Lord Derby, who won a coin flip. Otherwise, we'd be going to the Bunbury every first Saturday in May. Superbrand is the one horse, the only second South African bred to race in the Breeders' Cup. Spook Express was second in the 2001 filly and mare turf. Superbrand third and second in her 2 U.S. starts. Number 2, you like this name, Cat Doggone. Purchased in England by trainer Jim Cassidy a couple of years ago. Her one victory this year came as the result of a disqualification, but the only horse in the race that has competed on this turf course. She was third in the Windstar Distaff in May. Number 3 is Filmmaker, owned by the Cortland Farms of Don Adam, the chairman of First American Bank with over 100 locations in Texas. She was a wide closing fourth to Risk Averse in the 1.25 mile Flower Bowl, just 2 lengths away from winning her last 4 races. Number 4, Moscow Burning, another Jim Cassidy trainee. She's won 3 stakes since being claimed for $25,000 last year. She set the pace in the Flower Bowl before fading to third. Number 5 is Ouija Board, 3-year-old filly. Only the 10th in history to win both the English and Irish Oaks. Ouija Board had a tough trip, still finished third against the males in the Arc de Triomphe. Number 6 is Chacanage. The name means blue smoke, used by the Cherokees to describe the Smoky Mountains. She was 8th in her only other Grade 1 start. Number 7 is Light Jig. Only 1 for 7 in France, as Charles mentioned, but she has won 4 of 6 since Bobby Frankel took over. Winner of the Yellow Ribbon. Juddmonte, of course, the owner, won this race with Banks Hill in 2001. Frankel won it with Starine the next year. 8 is the horse shipped in by FedEx, Alban, a German bred, making her 3rd U.S. start. 5th in traffic, beaten a length and a half by Risk Averse in the Flower Bowl. Number 9 is Risk Averse. She's the Flower Bowl winner, makes her 3rd appearance in this race. She was 7th in 2002, 6th last year. She's the richest in the field at $1.7 million. 1 mile and 3/8, though, is the longest of her career. Number 10 is Megahertz, another Frankel trainee, 5th in this race last year. Comes to this event off a 152-day layoff, which would be the longest ever for a Breeders' Cup winner. Number 11, Yesterday, Irish bred 4-year-old filly, who was a fast-closing 3rd in this race last year, but has raced only twice since, finishing 5th and 4th. And number 12, Wonder Again, who faded to 6th in the Flower Bowl as the 4-5 favorite off a 2-month layoff. Owner Phillips, trainer Toner, combined to win this race with Soaring Softly, the first year it was contested. That is the filly and mare turf over 1 mile and 3/8 for fillies and mares on the grass. And the handicappers, Mike and Bob, remind me not to go trick-or-treating with you guys.
I'm telling you, it's been a rough day, you know, Tom. Sometimes that happens on Breeders' Cup Day. And, you know, the newcomer to the Breeders' Cup is the filly and mare turf. This is the 6th running, and I think we're lucky to have the best 3-year-old filly in Europe and Ouija Board competing here today, Bob.
You know, I wish I had picked the subject of my paddock reports. I'd be about 3 for 3 right now. But
yeah.
You're right, Ouija Board looks like a cinch to me in this race-off form. And the race we're looking at is the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, and she's 3rd here, and you say, what's the big deal? She ran 3rd. Well, this is against the boys, the best distance turf horses in the world.
This was a great effort by Ouija Board.
And we brought in our European analyst, John McCrearick, a.k.a. Mutton Chops. We love to talk to him every Breeders' Cup. He is resplendent today.
Yes,
I'm kidding the locals. I'm one of them, but I don't think they're taking it. But I know Ouija Board. If racing's about the best horse winning a race, that's all it's about. Ouija Board will trot up. Half a dozen of those who finished behind her in the up would be odds on today. She's 15 to 8, nearly 2 to 1 back in England. Opened even money, levels you devils on the board. They're asking now back to even money. Back to even money. It's been odds on 5 to 4.
How
on
can
8
she
bar.
lose today? Could she lose?
She could lose today. The ground is the problem. She was withdrawn from York in August. She was at the track, and now before the race taken out of the Yorkshire Oaks because the ground was very treacherous.
Too soft, too wet?
Soft. That is the problem with her. The sharp track might help her. They want a decent pace. Who's going to make the running? Is it going to be a decent pace? 1 mile and 3/8 is better than 1 mile and 1/4. That will help her. She'll come with a sweeping run. She won't be in front coming in the straight. Then Fallon will produce her. But she is the best filly in the race. Yesterday, terrific chance for Ireland. I can tell you that is the one for your exact as yesterday. Shorter on a big race, but if easing in the ground will help her, so will the blinkers.
Well, you know what? We agree with Mutton Chops.
Cold exact.
We agree with John here.
Hire all Texas forever, I say, up the Lone Star State. Go on, lads.
We got 3 for Ouija board here.
Ouija board, it must be. What a price, terrible price, though.
4 to 5 right now.
I think there are laws in Texas against mutton chops. Certainly you don't wear a straw hat after Labor Day. Tell him that. Ouija board, 48%, is also the favorite of the Cyber Cappers. It's unanimous. Ouija board. Will she come through carrying all that weight? Welcome back to Lone Star Park as we come up to the VO5 Filly and Mare Turf. A minute to post now, and Ouija board continues as the 4 to 5 favorite. And the Lone Star Turf course, because of the configuration of it, the race will be contested at 1 3/8 miles. That's 1/8 of a mile further than usual, and around 3 turns. And you see the position there of the starting gate. It will be a short run to that first sharp turn. There's the way they will start. Another circumference and then to finish. But Charlesy, that first run to the turn could be crucial.
Well, it is, Tom. We've got a field of 12 fillies, and they all want to kind of get over and get into a position. They really don't have much of a run, so they've got to get themselves sorted out, and you'll probably see some getting squeezed off going into that turn. And there, of course, is Ouija board, and we will have to watch her because, again, as I said, she tends to hesitate a little bit at the start. That's why she kind of was a little further back in the arc, and you saw her closing ground. But
and these tight turns will be something new for her.
Exactly, and she's got to navigate 3 of them. Of course, the turns in the arc are most interesting, and they're very demanding, but they are much more forgiving. They're wider and more sweeping. The other factor in this race is there's not really a lot of dedicated speed. I think this is going to be a very steady pace all the way. Most of these fillies sort of want to relax and gallop along, and most of them want to come more from off the pace than to be up close to the pace. So no real sharp speed, but horses that do want to be up on the lead, but not going very fast.
Super Brand a little wet, nervous perhaps as she went in. There's Cat Dog on. The turf course is yielding. Generally that's more to the liking of the Europeans. Americans generally run on firm turf most of the time. The Europeans get a little bit of everything, but raining course this time of year in Europe and just before. VO5 Filly and Mare Turf, 1 3/8 miles this time for the purse of $1 million and a field of 12. Ouija board is still the 4 to 5 favorite, and there she is, balking a bit at going in the gate under Kieran Fallon. Now they're going to jog her to the gate. Donna Brothers, you keeping an eye on Ouija board for us? If Donna can hear us, maybe she can't. But no problem for Ouija board as they gave her a little urging, and she finally went into the starting gate. Chacanage, the 6 horse. And for the call of the VO5 Filly and Mare Turf, let's go again to Tom Durkin.
Wonder again taking her spot in post position number 12 here. They're in the gate. And they're off. Yesterday dwelt at the start, and Ouija board came out in relatively good order. But it's Moscow Burning who races to be the early leader as they make that quick run into the first of 3 turns here. And it's Moscow Burning in front now. Lets it out a notch to lead by 2. On the inside, Filmmaker second by a neck. Obone is in between horses running along in third. Risk Averse has taken a hard hold, but she was caught 3 wide around the first turn. Ouija board gets a good spot early. She's relaxed and comfortable, covered up in behind horses while running in 5th. Megahertz 4 wide around the first turn. She's 6th. Superbrand well held 7th toward the inside. Yesterday, after that slow start, gets herself in mid-pack, followed by Cat Dog on toward the inside. Light Jig lingering at the back of the pack with Wonder Again. Chacanage is the trailer here. So they move by us for the first time. It's a relatively paceless procession that parades by us with Moscow Burning on the lead. And she walked through a quarter in 26 2/5 seconds, saunters through a half in 52 2. So a free ride early for Moscow Burning. Filmmaker second down the inside, saving ground all the way. Obone third. Ouija board has had a perfect journey so far. 4th toward the inside, continues to run relaxed about 4 lengths from the leader, Moscow Burning. And then farther back in the field, Risk-Averse now beginning to tug her way up. She's 5th on the outside. Megahurst is running in 6th. Yesterday, in behind horses in 7th. Light Jig, well held, while 8th. Superbrand loses a spot. She's back tonight. Then Cat Doggone Wonder again has 1 horse beaten at Chacanage. Up the back stretch, there's 4 furlongs left here. It has been Moscow Burning the whole way. She is tracked intently by Filmmaker. Allbone right there on the outside, 3rd. Ouija Board is poised on the inside, 4th. Risk-Averse 5th on the outside. Megahurst in between horses down toward the inside yesterday, and she is following Ouija Board around the far turn. Moscow Burning still there. No one's gotten to her yet, and with 2 furlongs to go, Moscow Burning driving, but Filmmaker poised to pounce in 2nd, and here comes Ouija Board, who's cut loose on the outside. Ouija Board driving to the 8th hole, and Ouija Board has taken the lead. Filmmaker is now 2nd. Moscow Burning back to 3rd. Wonder again from way back 4th and closing hard, but it's Ouija Board and Karen Fallon to win the filly and mare turf. She did it in a perfect journey, winning it by 2 lengths. Close for 2nd. There looked like Filmmaker got 2nd. Wonder again came well to be 3rd. And a happy group from Lord Derby's Ouija Board, and she proved indeed elite today.
In fact, it was a European-style race, how they just galloped early and then quickened, as they say, down the straightaway. And Ouija Board apparently much the best here as she pulled away over the final couple of furlongs under Kieran Fallon, owned by the 19th Lord Derby and trained by Edward Dunlop. This is a 3-year-old filly by Cape Cross from Selection Board by Welsh Pageant, bred in Great Britain by Stanley Estate and Stud Company. So a European winner, the favorite in the VO5 Breeders' Cup filly and mare turf. Fallon, 2nd straight. He had Islington in 2003. And for Edward Dunlop, his 1st Breeders' Cup win. And Donna's there. And looks like a microphone problem with Donna out talking to Kieran Fallon. The 3rd European to win the filly and mare turf, as Donna has some microphone problems at the moment, so we'll talk to Kieran when he gets back aboard a Ouija Board. After an impressive victory as the favorite in the filly and mare turf. The trainer Edward Dunlop made the trip over from Great Britain to see his great filly run. After that troubled 3rd in the Arc against the males, he thought she was set up, thought about trying the males again here. Here he is. And Lord Derby, the 19th Lord Derby. Stiff upper lip as Ouija Board gets home to take the filly and mare turf. And of course it took mutton chops to get Mike and Bob their 1st winner. A look at Ouija Board in the winner's circle after the filly and mare turf. Lord Derby put up $120,000 to make her eligible to run as a supplemental entry. And as the favorite, she paid $383, $280. Filmmaker, $9, $660. Wonder again paid $660. The 5-3 exacta, $43.40. The time was 5 seconds slower over that yielding turf course, and with the slower defections, 218.25. Let's go to Bob Newmeyer.
Well, sometimes you can do everything right, think you have a chance of winning, and run 2nd. And I think that was the case with John Velazquez and Filmmaker. John, tell us about the trip and turning for home, whether you thought you legitimately had a chance to win this race.
I had a really good trip, you know, in slow pace. I was right there, following the leader, save all the ground. Come to the quarter pole. You know, I have my thoughts. I mean, I might win the whole thing. And then I said, let me just wait, because I know this feeling from coming to Europe. You know, I had that in the back of my head, thinking that, you know, let me wait for her and maybe I can run it down the lane. That wasn't the case. She outrun me.
And here comes Ouija Board, and nothing you could do at this point, but you ran on well for 2nd.
She really did. She really put a good fight for 2nd. I thought she really ran a good race. the best horse won today.
Filmmaker and John Velazquez second to Ouija board in the filly and mare turf.
And let's go to Trevor Denman.
Well, as we saw there, when luck's in your way, it just goes that way. It was a perfect race today for Ouija board. Yes, they went slow, and that enabled her to get a perfect position. Quite frankly, she was just cantering around first time. This is Ouija board right here. What's going to be interesting about here is the difference in styles. This one right here is Filmmaker, and that's the American rider, John Velazquez. And now watch Kieran Fallon on the outside with a white cap. You'll see a distinctly different style of riding. They sit much longer in the saddle. They're almost hanging on with his knees, as you'll see here as we go in. There comes the whip. It looks a little awkward by our style, but the thing is that they're using the whip to hit further back with the horse, and you'll see he takes longer to switch his stick. There he's put it in his right hand. The Americans are very adept at doing that. They do it much quicker, but Kieran Fallon does it very competently, and he comes home a very good winner. Undoubtedly the best filly in the world, Ouija board. Kenny?
Thanks, Trevor. Here's the man that set those very slow fractions, hoping that he could steal it with the 18-to-1 shot, Moscow Burning, Jose Valdivia Jr. You followed orders out there. Did you think at any particular time that everybody else was going to fall asleep behind you?
Well, I was very surprised the first quarter mile when nobody went by me. My field was very relaxed, and Jim told me somebody comes by you wants to lead, let him go. If not, just at your own pace. And we're going pretty strong, but nonetheless, she just wasn't really handling the track as well as I would have liked. And she was just so game. Jim had her ready for a peak effort, and she held on for fourth.
How tough is it to ride, though, knowing that you've got to go out there and set it slow, and it seemed to get slower at 52.5 and 142 for the mile?
I could order a pizza at the three-quarter pole. But you know what? It helps. Jim had the filly ready. She matured a lot. She's very relaxed. So we're not in a fight with each other. Me fighting her, she's fighting me. She's just running along, enjoying herself. And like I said, the 3/8 for home was a sprint towards the house.
All right, thank you. Jose Valdivia Jr., he shows his patience and guides Moscow Burning, the 18-to-1 shot, to fourth place. And a piece of a check for Jim Cassidy, the trainer in his first Breeders' Cup race. Tom?
Kenny did all he could to try to get it, did Jose Valdivia. Let's go to the winner's circle now. Ouija board had a choice to run in the turf or the filly and mare turf. Unlike Azeri, she chose to stay with her own sex. It was a good decision. Mike?
Yes, it was a good decision. Ouija board, an exceptional 3-year-old filly. Her owner, Lord Darby, Kieran Fallon, the trainer, Edward Dunlop. And to make the presentation right now from Alberto Culver, the senior vice president of Alberto Personal Care, Mr. Dick Hines.
Alberto Culver entering its 50th year of operation. With over 17,000 employees worldwide, is the longest running sponsor of the Breeders' Cup. And as such, we are very, very proud to see the race that was won by Ouija board. And we're quite pleased to present this Breeders' Cup trophy to Lord Darby. And it is heavy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Your Lordship, congratulations. What an exceptional filly this is. She's won the English Oaks, the Irish Oaks, and now a Breeders' Cup race. She could be champion on 2 continents.
She's just an incredible filly. I just cannot believe my luck. The historic colors of the black with the white cap there, but it's all about the teamwork from back in the early days of the start with my brother Peter Stanley and Pat Cronin, our groom, bringing her up, and then Ed Dunlop has just done an incredible job training her. And this wonderful jockey, Kieran Fallon, rode a blinder today. It's a tighter track than we used to, but she handled those turns, and the ground was perfect for us on the day, and she just rode an incredible race.
She sure did. And we'll talk to Kieran, and we'll talk to Kieran first. That was a very, very slow pace. Did that worry you?
Not really, because I knew she had a really good turn of foot, and just waited to return for home. And as soon as I asked her, she quickened away. She done it nice.
Great job. Good ride right off that slow pace. And Edward, just a fantastic job bringing her into this race in top form, and she showed it today.
No, it's a fantastic day for everyone. My team have done a great job, and thanks to them all at home. Fantastic for everyone in Europe. I'm glad we've had a winner, and thrilled.
The whole team did a great job, and this is an exceptional filly. Ouija board wins the filly and mare turf. Tom?
All right, Mike, indeed she is an exceptional filly as she wins the filly and mare turf in complete order of finish. Yesterday, a bit of a disappointment in 5th. Megahertz and Aubon. Well, one of the most recognizable faces in thoroughbred racing is that of Bob Baffert. We know him mostly from the Triple Crown series, and Bob will have a horse in the next race, the juvenile, in Roman Ruler. But in recent days, it's been tough going for Bob, in a bit of a slump, perhaps. Right now, he is live with Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Tom, thanks very much. It has been, for Bob Baffert, a relatively quiet year. Didn't have a horse that was a factor in any of the Triple Crown races. Only 1 entry at the Breeders' Cup, but it's a good one, Roman Ruler, in the juvenile.
Very good horse. He's the kind of horse that we brought in here, and he's the kind of horse I think that will carry on and be at, hopefully in the Classics next year.
You're well aware that no 2-year-old champion has ever won the Kentucky Derby. Many of them don't even get to the Derby. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think a lot of it is because a lot of precocious horses are fast. You know, sometimes a really good miler can beat you going a mile and a 16th. But this field, there's some really talented horses in there. But I really think this horse is very talented, and he's the kind of horse, I know with the horse that I brought here, that he can carry it on to the next level.
How would you compare him to other great 2-year-olds you've had, Point Given and others?
Yeah, I compare him with horses like Point Given, Vindication, horse that I brought here. My other horse that I brought here, I knew they were mile and 16th was going to be max, but this horse, I think, with time, the way he's progressing, he could be one of the best ones I've had.
You'd be an objective as well as expert voice on this question because you don't have a candidate this year. What has to happen later today in the Classic for a horse other than Smarty Jones to wind up being Horse of the Year?
I think, you know, the big horse is going to have to falter. Pleasantly Perfect, if he wins, he gets it. Birdstone, if he gets up there, he can win it. And if the filly, the mare, Azaria, she wins it. Those are the 3 candidates that maybe, if they can get it done, they can knock Smarty Jones off. But to me, I think Smarty Jones, unless Pleasantly Perfect is the other true champion, he was the best thing I've seen this year.
Bob, thanks very much. Good luck today with Roman Ruler.
Thank you.
All right. Bob Baffert, let's go back to Tom Hammond.
All right, Bob, there is a Roman Ruler. That's Bob Baffert's horse, owned by the Fog City Stable. He'll be giving Corey Nakatani a leg up in just a few moments. Roman Ruler currently the second choice behind a Fleet Alex in the betting for the Breeders' Cup Bessemer Trust Juvenile.
The Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships are brought to you by Nextel. Done by Guinness Draft Stout. Drink responsibly. Brilliant. By Alberto VO5 Nourishing Oasis. Restore your hair and spirit. And by The Greatest Game. For more information on thoroughbred horse ownership, log on to www.thegreatestgame.com.
Welcome back to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Next up, the Bessemer Trust Juvenile. And interesting, only 8 runners. You see the odds with Roman Ruler at 5-2. A Fleet Alex is the 2-1 favorite, but only 8 runners. Normally there are many more runners than that. And the Bessemer Trust Juvenile has 8 runners. Only once have there been that few. That was in 1997. And interesting to note, with only 8 in this field, one of the reasons could be, if you'll remember back in 2001, Central Kentucky was hit with the mare reproductive loss syndrome, and that affected the size of the foal crop. Some 2,000 fewer foals were born in Kentucky that year, and so that perhaps is one of the reasons we have fewer juveniles going to the post here in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The numbers just a little bit lower in the foal crop for this year. I will say, though, that the 8 that are in here are all pretty solid. All the best horses in training this year have elected to come to the Breeders' Cup. Let's go down to the paddock now. Check in with Mike.
Thanks, Tom. And Wayne Lucas has won 17 Breeders' Cup races, by far the leader there. He's won this race 5 times. You know you'd won this race 5 times, Wayne?
I do now.
And he's got an excellent...
Is it a 6-shooter?
If you got a 6-shooter, you're in Texas, you're loaded. You are loaded here. This Consolidator ran a big race last time out at Kingwood.
I think we got to go a little bit further. We got to pick it up a little bit. And, you know, it's a tough race because everybody comes from every section. They're all, you know, high on their horse, and you got to get a little trip and get a little bit better in this one, but we hope we'll move forward.
Well, what I like is the fact that you took this horse back to Churchill after that win, and he worked a bullet, worked 47 and change, didn't he, in the slop, and he really hadn't shown that many bullet works.
Well, I think it tipped his hand that he's getting better, but I said, I told the exercise writer, I said, that's fast enough. We'll put him up and pack him in styrofoam until the day of the Breeders' Cup, and that's what we did.
Well, you always like to have your horses ready for these top races. Is he in top shape?
I think he is. You know, we're going to find out here in a few minutes, but I think he's good. I think he's settled well. I think the 2 turns might help us. It's Texas. Let's go.
And there's a man that's already won 17 races. He knows how to win them. Good luck, Wayne.
Thank you.
Let's go to Kenny Rice.
Thanks, Mike. A Fleet Alex is not just a horse to take a look at, one of the favorites for this race. He is a horse that's already touched people's lives and a horse that overcame odds at birth. He was born on a farm in Florida owned by John Silverstand. Now, at the time, his mother had trouble producing milk. It was almost 12 days before the little guy could get milk because they had to find a nurse mare to bring to him. Then they had to figure out a way to get the milk to him. They looked around. There were no baby bottles there because Mr. Silverstand's daughter was 11 years old at the time. So they found a beer bottle and did a makeshift nipple on it, made out of a top part of a glove. And that's how little Fleet Alex was able to get milk for the first few days, to get nurtured again and then get back on the nurse mare and grow up healthy and strong. In the meantime, he was sold, and Chuck Zachney now owns him from Pennsylvania. Mr. Silverstand is suffering at this time from colon cancer. In an ironic twist here, Mr. Zachney met a young girl who was selling lemonade to help for cancer research just about a year ago. Sadly, that young girl has passed on, losing her battle to cancer. Mr. Zachney has donated now some of the proceeds from Fleet Alex's victories to cancer research. So Fleet Alex, he already beat some odds at the very start, and now he comes in here as one of the favorites in this Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Over to Bob Newmeyer.
Kenny, one of the mysterious questions in racing is, does a great racehorse become a great sire? Well, number 2 is Roman Ruler. He is the son of Fusaichi Pegasus. Remember him? Not too long ago, he won the Kentucky Derby. He was a beautifully bred son of Mr. Prospector. People thought that Fusaichi Pegasus was a surefire Triple Crown winner. Didn't work out that way. He lost in the Preakness. But his first crop is represented by 2 horses here in the Juvenile. I mentioned Roman Ruler, number 2. And also the Coolmore horse, number 5, Scandinavia, also a son of Fusaichi Pegasus. They paid a lot of money to syndicate this horse as a stallion. He's winning races all over the world, and that multi-million-dollar gamble on syndicating Fusaichi Pegasus is turning early dividends for the breeders. Tom?
All right, Bob, and we're getting ready for the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Coming from Lone Star Park, Grand Prairie, Texas, the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships, the equine version of Texas Hold'em. We'll be back. Minutes to post for the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Sun King at 5-1. Roman Ruler now taking over favoritism at 2-1. Fleet Alex second choice at 5-2. Consolidator 6. Scandinavia at 12. Proud Accolade is 7-2. Twice Unbridled and Wilco are long shots. And we've seen high-profile trainers Wayne Lucas and Bob Baffert, and Nick Zito is here with Sun King.
Can't talk Derby without Nick Zito, and Sun King might be one of his for next spring. This colt has only run 3 times. He had the lead in the Champagne. He was too close to the pace and faltered late, got caught at the very end. Nick Zito changed riders. Now he gets Edgar Prado aboard and tries 2 turns for the first time.
Well, after winning his first time for Zito, he was beaten 2 lengths in the Champagne. Zito thought he was too close to the pace, Charles C. And so Edgar Prado, as you said, replaces Javier Castellano. Tracy Farmer paid $400,000 for Sun King as a yearling. Number 2 is Roman Ruler, currently the favorite, and another expensive Keeneland yearling, $500,000. Trained by Baffert, he's won 3 of 4, won around 2 turns in the Norfolk at this same mile and a 16th distance. Number 3 is a Fleet Alex, named for a couple of children of the owners. Cassius King Stable, a group of Pennsylvania business partners who paid $75,000 for him at Fasig-Tipton, Maryland earlier this year. And the first Breeders' Cup horse for Tim Ritchie, who won the hopeful second with a rough trip in the Champagne. Number 4, Consolidator. His win around 2 turns in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland gave Wayne Lucas a juvenile starter. 5 of his record 17 Breeders' Cup victories, as Mike Battaglia pointed out, have come in this race. Bob and Beverly Lewis paid $1,250,000 for the son of Storm Gap. Number 5, Scandinavia, the same owner-trainer combination that brought Johannesburg from Ireland to win the 2001 juvenile. He was a $725,000 weanling. A lot of expensive horse flesh in this race. Number 6 is Proud Accolade. Padua Stables won the juvenile with Vindication 2 years ago, and they paid $450,000 for this colt at the Ocala sale this year. He's unbeaten in 3 starts, including the Champagne, a mile and a 16, although a 1-turn mile and a 16th at Belmont Park. Number 7, Twice Unbridled, a real long shot, a maiden. He's never won a race. 3rd and 5th in 2 California starts, a $20,000 yearling. The 8th maiden to start in the juvenile, the best finish, National Lore, 3rd at 40-1 in 1997. And number 8 is Wilco, trained in England, a minor stakes winner in Europe, group stakes placed in 10 total starts. This will be his first start beyond a mile. That's the field of 8 for the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Well, the champagne is out. Thanks to mutton chops, Bob and Mike had a winner.
4 to 5
Thanks
shot.
to mutton chops? We both had that one on our own, Tom.
Still not even yet, though, at 4 to 5.
No, we're not even.
What about 2-year-olds, Mike? Interesting to me. They're almost like, I don't know, 16, 17, 18-year-old athletes that, you know, stand 5'9" one day and just spring up to 6'2", 200 pounds the next. Difficult to follow, but we got some quality 2-year-olds here today.
We really do. You know, there's only 8 horses in here. I think 5 of them can win. I settled on Proud Accolade. I'm picking Todd Pletcher after he's already won 2 races. So here he is winning the Champagne. I just thought this was a big effort. He's undefeated. He's 3 for 3. He's very game here. He won at the distance of 1 mile and a 16th. Yes, it was at Belmont Park, and that's a 1-turn mile and a 16th. So we still have to see how he's going to handle the move to 2 turns. But Todd Pletcher is hot right now. So you got to go with the hot trainer. You got to go with the hot rider and Johnny Velazquez. And Proud Accolade has just done nothing wrong so far. I'm looking for him to make it 4 in a row.
Well, earlier Bob Costas talked to Bob Baffert. He is the king of the Triple Crown. He's very strong with 2-year-olds. And for that reason, Roman Ruler is my selection in this race today. I loved his effort last time at Santa Anita. Look at the long hold that Corey Nakatani has, looking around for competition and not finding much at all. He's a big, long strider. I mentioned in my paddock report, from the first crop of the great racehorse Fusaichi Pegasus, he's looking around here, doesn't find anybody to challenge. Yes, he did get a little leg weary in the lane, and that's going to be the issue for me here. How strong will he finish? He's up on the board at 2 to 1 and has to be considered a major threat in this juvenile this year.
All right, and you know, we didn't even talk about Sun King, who I think's got a chance, of Fleet Alex, who right now is the 2nd choice. And Wayne Lucas's horse Consolidator ran a huge race at Keeneland. That was around 2 turns, so he's got a big chance in here also, Bob.
And Scandinavia would like to do what Johannesburg did for the Coolmore people a couple of years ago and upsetting here in this juvenile. He, too, was son of Fusaichi.
So who are we throwing out, the maiden and the 8 horse?
The 26 and 25 to 1 shots.
And why is the maiden only 26 to 1? He ought to be 260 to 1. No shot at all. Tom?
Does seem like you guys mentioned all 8 horses there one way or another. I'm on to you. Roman Ruler is who the cyber cappers like, 30% of them. A Fleet Alex draws 27%. The bettors here are seeing it much the same way. Proud Accolade at 15% of the vote online. The Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile, the purse $1.5 million on tap when we return. Welcome back to the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. Next up, the Bessemer Trust Juvenile. And there are the current odds as Roman Ruler 2 to 1, a Fleet Alex 2nd choice at 3 to 1. Proud Accolade is also at 3 to 1 as they head toward the Guinness starting gate. Brilliant as they will make their way over the mile and a 16th on this Lone Star track, now rated fast.
And Guinness, of course, is rather multiple purpose use. It goes into the feed tubs of a great many horses, too. It's a wonderful tonic, helps spike their appetite, and keeps a little weight on them, as all you beer drinkers know is possible.
Donna Brothers, sometimes this is a new experience. All these people around for these 2-year-olds. We're inexperienced in racing. Everything going okay so far?
Tom, I have to say the only horse who looks frazzled a bit is the 7, Twice Unbridled. But looking at the past performances of his races and the other horses, I think I might be a little nervous if I were him, too. He's in awfully tough today.
I'll say he's a maiden. He's never won a race, and maybe he knows that the competition is going to be a little tough this afternoon. Victor Espinoza there in the saddle.
I think we're looking at another situation again, Tom, with the absence of any dedicated speed. We don't have any real, true, sharp front runners, but I think we'll probably see Consolidator and Proud Accolade. They're most likely to be on the lead.
Let's go to Tom Durkin for the call.
In a field of 8 juveniles to face the starter Ross Van Hemel. And there goes Twice Unbridled. Right now, 30 to 1 on the board. And Consolidator with his Breathe Right Band-Aid over his nose to help him along a little bit today. And Wilco taking his first American start. In the gate, ready for the start of the juvenile. And they're off. Slow beginning for Scandinavia. Not so for Consolidator, who bounces out quickly. And there goes Twice Unbridled to be the long shot leader as they race for the clubhouse turn. Wilco on the outside. Consolidator is now 3rd toward the rail. And then in between horses, Proud Accolade up and on the pace early. He's running along in 4th. Scandinavia after that slow start, 5th on the outside. Sun King saves ground toward the rail. Roman Ruler at the back of the pack. And the Fleet Alex is conserved in the early going here. Not so for Twice Unbridled. Twice Unbridled opens up 2 on them. 23-2 for the opening quarter. Consolidator sits back second. And then on the outside, Wilco in the clear, running along in third. Sun King is moving sweetly. Fourth on the inside. Crowd accolade, and Johnny Velazquez sitting chilly aloft him. There goes a Fleet Alex now with a bit of a move down the backstretch run, drawing within 5 lengths of the lead. At the back of the pack, Roman Ruler, who's on the inside of Scandinavia. The half in 47 2/5 seconds. The field moving into the far turn, and they're about to overtake Twice Unbridled. On the inside, Sun King, and there goes Consolidator. Consolidator and Sun King now, and those two going at it. A Fleet Alex driving on the outside. Wilco with a drive, but is now shuffled back to fourth. 2 lengths back, Roman Ruler hitting his best stride now. He's coming within 4 lengths of the lead as they make the turn into the stretch. Proud Accolade is sixth. A Fleet Alex powers up on the outside. Now he's in front. A Fleet Alex, the leader, as they come down to the mid-stretch marker. Consolidator is battling on. Sun King's not done yet. And on the far outside, a resurgent Wilco into the final 16th, and it's Wilco in front, and he's going to pull off a huge upset here. He'll pay $50 to win. Wilco does it, winning by a length and a half. A Fleet Alex was second, and Sun King was third. Racing for the first time on American soil. In fact, running for the first time on soil at all, has left some American trainers very disappointed here, as Wilco, with Frankie Dettori aboard, spoils their chance for victory.
We are looking at some disappointed trainers. Bob Baffert with his back to you there, as Wilco in his 11th career start as a 2-year-old, all on the grass, all in England, pulls off the shocker, beating the best American 2-year-old colts.
We got to immediately start looking for clues as to how this happened, and the first one is he's got an American pedigree. He's by Awesome again, making his first start on the dirt. But to me, the most important thing is he had 10 starts. He had the experience, he had the seasoning, he had the fitness, he had the grittiness, and he showed it today.
Donna?
Hey, Frankie, tell me what you just told me.
I love you, Donna.
Woo! Frankie, you love America right now, no?
Oh, great.
Frankie, this was your first time to ride this horse, but you rode him with confidence.
Yeah, Jeremy said to be positive. One thing we knew, he would stay. I was a bit worried when they went by me, but hey, he dug deep and he won.
What about the dirt? Were you concerned how he would handle the dirt?
It worked really well back home on the dirt, so I knew he'd run big.
And what about the distance? He'd never been beyond a mile.
No problem. Now I guess he'll go for the Derby next year.
Well, as usual, Frankie, you rode him with confidence, and it paid off. Congratulations.
I love America. Thank you.
And America loves Frankie Dettori, too, Tom.
All right, Donna, the 4th Breeders' Cup victory for Frankie Dettori. And you mentioned the Derby. Will it be the Derby or the Derby next spring?
He's actually slated to stay here in America. He won't be going back to England, so we'll be looking at him in the Spring Classics.
And how about the jinx? Well, the Red Sox reversed the curse. Maybe we'll have our first juvenile winner to win the Kentucky Derby. And all eyes will be on Wilco, who pulled off a shocking upset in the Bessemer Trust Breeders' Cup Juvenile under jockey Frankie Dettori. Wilco is the winner. Did you have him? You're going to collect big. Back at Lone Star Park, we just witnessed the 3rd biggest upset in the history of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Anise at 30-1, won it in 99. Action this day last year was 26-80 to 1. And now Wilco and Frankie Dettori. J. Paul Redham just purchased an interest. Let's see if we get the flying dismount here from Frankie Dettori. He's got to get rid of that garland of flowers. J. Paul Redham just purchased a partial interest a couple of weeks ago in this colt. Jeremy Nocita, the trainer, his first Breeders' Cup horse, and he comes home a winner. He started in England 10 times, group stakes placed and won a minor stakes. His first race today, Beyond a Mile. He had raced 9 times on the straightaway. There's the flying dismount, trademark of Frankie Dettori. 58.60, 18.20, 6.80. A Fleet Alex $5, $3.60, and Sun King paid $5.60. The 8-3 exacta worth $254. Let's go to Kenny.
Thank you, Tom. First Breeders' Cup race for Jeremy Rose. First time he's been in Texas, and the Delaware native came close, finishing second aboard a Fleet Alex. I said congratulations. You said earlier to me, well, that's okay, but I didn't think I'd get beat by that horse.
No, on paper, the ones I thought was Roman Ruler and Proud Acolyte, I thought were the ones to beat me. And I didn't think, on form anyways, that this horse would be the one to beat us.
As you're turning for home in this, obviously you realize the guys you thought would be around you were. Did you have any idea, though, coming up on the outside of you was Wilco?
I didn't know. I knew somebody was on the outside of me. I didn't know who it was. I didn't really pay attention. I was just down riding. And, yeah, it kind of surprised me galloping out that it was Wilco. But horse, obviously a nice horse in the dirt. First time on it, and he's nice.
As far as the way things are setting up, and we take a look at you right here, you've got the red cap on, the white sleeves there with the green. Looks like you've got him riding where you want to. You got him on the lead here, and he's coming down the stretch. Bring us home here, Jeremy.
Well, right here, I looked outside, and I knew I was beat. You know, you can tell when a horse is running faster than yours, and mine was giving it all he had. And what cost me really the race was the break. I got shuffled back real bad, and I had to go wide on the backside, which I didn't want to do, but it's one of those things you kind of have to do. And
Jeremy, congratulations. First Breeders' Cup, and you got a runner-up.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy Rose, a man who was aboard of Fleet Alex. Now let's go over and check with Trevor Denman.
Well, perhaps the most frustrating horse in that race was Roman Ruler. You know, a lot of people did not like him going into this race, but obviously he was the 2-to-1 favorite, so a lot of people did like him. And you just look at the run here. Going past the 5/8 pole, I had my eye on him, and he was traveling so well, it looked like Roman Ruler was going to win it. He was just going extremely well down the backstretch. Then the pacemaking twice unbridled stopped in front of him. Corey Nakatani had a few decisions to make. He finally got through on the inside. Didn't cost him that much, just broke his momentum a little. This is him in the orange at the back. And then right here, you're looking for him to come flying. Roman Ruler in the 5th clot in the orange down at the rail. Suddenly the whip comes out. He pins his ears back right there, and he just doesn't show any interest at all. So a real strange run from Roman Ruler. Looked to me like he was a winner at the half-mile pole, and then just didn't run on at all in the stretch and finished up in the 5th spot. So we'll have to wait for another day for Roman Ruler. Tom?
All right, Trevor. Meanwhile, Wilco. What's it say about the quality of the U.S. 2-year-olds? Big question mark. Wilco pulls off the upset. And now what about the Derby curse? Can the juvenile winner finally win the Kentucky Derby? Since 1984, 13 juvenile runners have won 14 Triple Crown races, but no juvenile Derby combo. Let's go to the presentation now and join Mike Battaglia.
What a huge upset. They're turning around watching the replay right now. The owners, Paul Redham, Susan Roy, Jeremy in the seat of the trainer, and a great ride as usual by Frankie Dettori. And to make the presentation, we've got the chairman of Bessemer Trust, Mr. Stuart Janney, and someone who's no stranger to the Breeders' Cup. He's been here quite a bit. We got Jerry O'Connell, the star of NBC's Crossing Jordan. And Stuart, we're going to let you make the presentation as soon as they turn back around here. And you can't blame them for wanting to watch their race.
It's a big one. Well, this was a great race. Maybe a bit of an upset by a wonderful horse. Congratulations to the owners on behalf of Bessemer Trust and to a trainer that I met in Newmarket last fall when he gave me directions how to get home.
Were they good directions?
They were. Okay. Congratulations.
Paul, you want to take this?
It's heavy. Thank you.
What an upset. This horse was sent off at 28-1. He'd never raced on the dirt. What made you think he could do this?
Well, I didn't know that he could, actually. But he was American bred, and from his previous races, he just kept coming and coming. We thought maybe the turf was not his thing, that he might move up on the dirt, and he sure did. And we got a great ride, too.
You always get a great ride from Frankie. Tell us about your trip, Frankie.
Well, he worked really well on the dirt, and I know it was a big punt, but you know, I was a little bit off pace to the quarter pole, but when I took him in the straight, I got him some room. I mean, he took off again, and what a brave performance, and well done to Jeremy, the trainer. It's been a fairy tale.
Yeah, well, Jeremy, great job getting this horse ready and bringing him over here, and he just runs a huge race, upsets all these American horses with the dirt experience, but he got the job done.
Yeah, he's a tough horse, and he tries awful hard, and I knew he'd get every yard of the trip, and he'd just keep putting his head down and running, so I thought it was worth a go, and just really want to say thanks to all my lads at home. We've had a pretty tough year at home this year, and this is really, with all the hard luck stories we've had during the year are all forgotten to now, and we're over the moon. I can't believe it.
Does he stays here?
He stays here, you know, and that's our job done, but I couldn't finish on a better note, could I?
That's exactly right, exactly right. Wilco, the upset winner, Tom.
A 2-year-old colt by Awesome again, bred at Kentucky by Ropara. Interesting to note that the juvenile fillies ran faster than the colts did in the juvenile. And as we progress through this championship day, you can't help but think about Smarty Jones. Has it only been 5 months since Smarty Mania gripped the country? Somehow it seems much longer. We came to Belmont that June day expecting to witness history, to witness greatness. Instead, we got a hefty dose of the unpredictability of horse racing. But for Smarty, it all turned out pretty well.
Smarty Jones arrived here the middle of August, and life has not been the same since.
I want to welcome you guys to Three Champions.
We have
My
tours
name is
for
Molly, and I'm
racing
here for guide
fans
today.
6 days a week, 40 to 50 people in a tour. They're booked up months in advance.
We're really excited. We can't wait. Smarty Jones is a little bit over 15 and 3 hands high. He is the 4th richest racehorse in thoroughbred history.
We've had to hire someone full-time to deal with the requests for tours, scheduling the tours, answering the fan mail.
Is that it for Smarty Dum?
We've just been overwhelmed with friends, visitors, all sorts of people wanting to see him.
I'm from Port Wright, Kentucky.
San Diego, California. We live in Charlottesville, Virginia.
We're here to see Smarty Jones.
He's kind of a blue-collar horse.
Smarty, you did your best.
It's kind of like rooting for the Red Sox the last 3 nights. You know, you have to root for the underdog, right?
Good horses very often change people's life. He has certainly changed the lives of millions of fans, and he's changed our lives since he's been here.
Sometimes the more things change, the more they stay the same. While Smarty is the center of attention in his new home, his old partner has stayed behind, left with memories of a magical run.
I don't think things will ever get back to normal. You know, a lot of people, when that run started, said to me, you know, your life will never be the same. And, you know, I just kind of took that with a grain of salt. But it's true. It's true. You know, my phone hasn't been ringing off the hook. And I'm sure a lot of that's because I'm in Philadelphia. But you find yourself missing that excitement. You know, you've had a taste of it, and now you find yourself thinking about, you know, will you ever get back there? And it's very addicting, very addicting. To be a trainer, to have a horse like that could possibly be the greatest horse of all time, if not one of them, that's a chance of a lifetime.
Was Smarty Jones a great horse? Well, he had a chance to be, but the truth is we'll never know. He showed all the signs, but he never raced beyond the Belmont Stakes, never took on older horses. His Preakness was brilliant, but maybe that one race is not enough to call him great. And I have to tell you that there's a lot of resentment among those who cover racing about his retirement. His injuries didn't appear to be that serious. He could have raced perhaps at 4. The prevailing opinion is that nearly $40 million for his stud career hastened his retirement, and that could be reflected in the voting for champion 3-year-old and horse of the year. Smarty Jones is not here today, but still a candidate to be champion 3-year-old and horse of the year. That may depend on the results of the Classic today. That's still to come, along with the John Deere Breeders' Cup Turf, which is next on the menu from Lone Star Park. Welcome back to Grand Prairie, Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and the 21st edition of the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships. The John Deere Breeders' Cup Turf purse of $2 million is next. Power scored at 3-1. 3-5 favorite is Kitten's Joy, the 3-year-old owned by Ken Ramsey. Magistretti at 7, Star Over the Bay a 6-1 shot. Mustanfar 18-1. That's the field for the John Deere Turf, which is contested at 1.5 miles on the grass. And there is the favorite. That is Kitten's Joy in the colors of Ken and Sarah Ramsey, the 3-year-old colt ridden here by John Velazquez.
Tom, since he set foot on the turf, he has won 8 of his 9 starts on the grass, 1 narrow loss and a photo finish. He is absolutely a sensational superstar in the making. I don't want to jinx him, but he is really something special. He's got an acceleration away from horses that's almost startling. In his last start, Magistretti, who is also in this race, looked to be going easily on the lead, and Kitten's Joy just galloped up beside him, galloped alongside him a few strides, and then just rocketed away. I've hardly ever seen a horse do anything like that. He is very special colt indeed.
Here are the horses for the John Deere Turf. Number 1, Powers Court, British bred, Irish trained, had his toughest moment in the U.S. when he was disqualified from the win in the Arlington Million for interference. 24-year-old Jamie Spencer was aboard that day, too. Number 2, Request for Parole. Pat Day, the only jockey to ride in all 21 editions of the Breeders' Cup, guides the winner of the United Nations Handicap, his only Grade 1 win in 8 tries. Number 3 is Strut the Stage, a son of theatrical, hence the name. His sire won the turf in 1987, and trainer Mark Frostad brought Chief Bearheart from the cold of Canada to win the turf at warm weather Hollywood Park 7 years ago. This 6-year-old 7th is the 3-10 favorite in the Sky Classic at Woodbine. Number 4 is Kitten's Joy, big favorite. First Breeders' Cup starter for second-generation Kentucky trainer Dale Romans, that state's perennial leading trainer. And the 3-year-old Kitten's Joy has won 6 of 7 this year. As Charles, he said, 8 of 9 lifetime on grass. And by the way, Kitten was Ken's nickname for his wife when they were dating. Number 5, Better Talk Now. Lone Star represents the 14th track for his 23 career starts. His biggest win and only victory this year, the Grade 1 Sword Dancer handicap at 1.5 miles on yielding turf, just like today. Number 6, Magistretti began his career in England, now started 3 times in the U.S. for Patrick Biancone. Winner of the Grade 1 Man of War on yielding turf at Belmont, but 0 for 4 at this 1.5 mile distance. Number 7, Star Over the Bay, claimed for $80,000 in May and since has won 3 straight graded stakes wire to wire. He's also the only horse in the race who has competed on this turf course, with a 2nd in the Dallas Turf Cup in June. And number 8 is Mustanfar, a 3-year-old who won the 1.5 mile Sycamore at Keeneland in his first try at that 1.5 mile distance. And that is your field for the John Deere Breeders' Cup Turf, 1.5 miles, and the purse $2 million. So the handicappers now, Mike and Bob. Please, can you pick a winner in this 8-horse field with a 3-5 favorite?
We're going to give it a try, Tom. And you know what? At the 1.5 miles, you know, that's a grueling distance, and stamina is so very important. Normally, this race, especially in recent years, has gone to the Europeans, but this year, we've got an American horse and a 3-year-old, no less, as the 3-5 favorite. You think he's unbeatable?
Well, after the last race, I'm a little leery to say this, but I think this is a 2-horse race, and I'm going for the longer of the 2 favorites, and that would be Powers Court. We saw him at the Arlington Million, and unfortunately, jockey Jamie Spencer whacked him with this right-hand stick, and he made a left-hand turn, and an accordion collision happened, and the horse on the rail, Kickin' Chris, got the worst of it. Powers Court won the race, but the stewards immediately hung up the inquiry sign. This horse was disqualified and placed 3rd in that Arlington Million, came back with a nice 3rd in Ireland, and I think next to the favorite Kitten's Joy, looks to me to be the best horse on paper.
Yeah, he might be the 2nd best horse on paper, but I'll tell you what, I love Kitten's Joy. This horse is a phenom. He just wins. He not only wins races, watch the way he wins races. His turf races, he just runs away from the field. In his last 2 races, they've been the most impressive of his career. The Secretariat, he was just so impressive. And last time out at Belmont Park, when he beat the older horses for the first time and tried 1.5 miles for the first time, we've talked about that. You and I knew me, how tough it is to make the move from 1.25 miles to 1.5 miles, especially for a 3-year-old. This horse did it, and he did it impressively. He's only lost 1 time on the grass, and I don't think the yielding turf's going to bother him today. He likes to come from off of it, do whatever he wants, and I think he could be a really good one.
Well, the pace could be tricky. Star Over the Bay likes the front. These long races, I think, on the turf, depends how slow they can go early, and that could compromise the 2 favorites. But at 3-1, I think Powers Court's a square price, and your favorite up there at 4-5.
I've got to go for the 4-5 shot. Kitten's Joy for me, Tom.
Okay, guys, and I promise not to get on you for the Classic because it looks impossible. Kitten's Joy, 53% of our cyber cappers think Kitten's Joy will win the turf. Powers Court and Magistretti getting a little support, but Kitten's Joy, overwhelming favorite on the board and online. Chips, the penultimate Ultimate race of the day, the John Deere Breeders' Cup Turf. $2 million, a mile and a half on the grass. The favorite, Kitten's Joy, the 3-year-old, owned by that pair. Sarah, everyone calls her Catherine Ramsey, and Ken Ramsey. Had nothing to lose earlier. Now he has the overwhelming favorite here in the turf, and we'll have roses in May in the final race of the day, the Classic. Ken, as we said, the king of the pick six. He even named a horse that one time. He hit a lot of them. And you see him taking a final look at his handicapping sheet and now checking out Kitten's Joy through the glasses. Power scored at 3-1. Kitten's Joy still at 4-5 now. Magistretti 6-1. Star Over the Bay at 7-1. The only others in single digits. This race is a mile and a half on the grass, which means they get a longer run into that first turn, a chance to get position, unlike the filly and mare turf, and then around to finish. Mile and a half on the grass, yielding turf here at Lone Star. Interesting to note that Kitten's Joy, pretty versatile. He's won on good, firm, or yielding turf. Only 2 U.S.-based 3-year-olds have ever won the Breeders' Cup Turf, Manila and Prize. There's the Guinness starting gate, which is placed there for the run down the backstretch. Young Aidan O'Brien, who trained High Chaparral to win in 2002 and dead heat for the win last year. Aidan O'Brien, the trainer of Powers Court, the second choice in the betting, the #1 horse who's being led onto the turf right now. Patrick Biancone, the trainer of Magistretti, the transplanted Frenchman, also watches, has shed the coat here in the heat of Dallas. And his Magistretti goes to the post at 6-1. Donna Brothers, any problems out there with the horses as they come off the main track onto the turf?
Well, they're having to do a lock and load to get Better Talk now onto the turf course, but he is now successfully walking onto the turf course. You can see they've switched handlers, and I think they're just going to keep that lock and load behind him until they get him packed safely into the gate, Tom.
Powers Court.
Powers Court is a lovely horse, very strong-bodied horse. He's been very consistent at the highest levels in Europe, and as you said, he was disqualified in the Arlington Million. He and Kitten's Joy will probably stalk right behind Star Over the Bay, and I think Powers Court will test Kitten's Joy to the wire.
Field of 8. The John Deere Breeders' Cup Turf. The purse $2 million. The distance a mile and a half on the grass. And Kitten's Joy still reigning. It's gone down now to 3-5. 3-5 on Kitten's Joy. And into the gate as #6 Magistretti. They had the gate front stall open and then closed it. #7 Star Over the Bay as we send you back to Tom Durkin.
And there's the odds-on favorite going into line, Kitten's Joy. And on the outside, Mustanfar with Jose Santos. There in the gate. And they're off. So a late start there for Powers Court. And he spots them a couple lengths as they leave the starting gate. Down the back stretch, and as expected, Star Over the Bay makes the early lead, and he makes it easily. Star Over the Bay in front. Tyler Bays, once that lead has been established, he eases them down a bit to lead by 3. Struck the stage, now up to be second. Kitten's Joy is in the clear, running third in the early going here. Magistretti, a little keen, comes on through in between horses, up to be 4th. Request for parole, down on the fence and saving ground 5th. A late start has put Powers Court back in 6th position and rating. And it's another 2 back to a hard-held Mustanfar. And Better Talk now also on the stout restraint as Star Over the Bay takes them past the stands for the first time. Star Over the Bay able to negotiate a comfortable first quarter in 24 4/5 seconds. He settles into an easy gallop here, just loping along on a big uncontested lead. He's 5 lengths clear over Strut the Stage. Kitten's Joy, the 3-5 favorite, still reserved while running along in 4th. Mustanfar well in hand while 5th. Powers Court on the outside of Request for Parole, still at the back of the pack. Better Talk now is covered up in behind horses. Right alongside him, Mustanfar. So it's been all Star Over the Bay so far. Loose on the lead, and he sails through 3/4 of a mile in 1:13.4 on an unchallenged lead. He's 6 lengths in front as they begin that final run down the backstretch. Strut the Stage is second by 2 lengths. On the outside, Kitten's Joy now in good striking position. He's come off cover, but there goes Powers Court. Powers Court with a very aggressive move with 4 furlongs to go. So they race past the half-mile pole, and that lead has evaporated. Star Over the Bay and Powers Court. Powers passed. Powers Court takes the lead with a
decisive thrust as they move into the far turn. Star of the Bay trying to get back in it. He's under a drive, has now dropped 2 lengths behind. Kitten's Joy is called on for his best with 3 furlongs to go. Magistretti's right alongside him. And Better Talk Now is coming with a big rally on the outside as Powers Court comes off the turn with the lead. Kitten's Joy an all-out drive. Better Talk Now continues a sustained rally, but he shifts in, and Magistretti had to take up there. Also trouble for Kitten's Joy into the final furlong now, and Better Talk Now has taken the lead. Powers Court and Kitten's Joy, and they're coming down to the finish, and it is Better Talk Now who is under the line first. He finishes first by 2. Kitten's Joy second, Powers Court third. But I would say hold all tickets. It was a very roughly run stretch drive. Ken Ramsey's not throwing away that ticket on Kitten's Joy yet. Let's take a look again.
Inside to outside, inside to outside. Let's go down wide.
As to what happened in the stretch, he was motioning. He saw all that action going on. The stewards likely will take a look. Better Talk Now under the line in front. Under jockey Ramon Dominguez. Kitten's Joy managed to pass Powers Court to get second. Remember Powers Court, the horse that was disqualified in the Arlington Million when Jamie Spencer was aboard. So Better Talk Now, the unofficial winner. And this look again. This is Powers Court in front with Magistretti between horses. On the outside is Better Talk Now. In the red and white on the inside is Kitten's Joy. And here comes Better Talk Now over in front of Magistretti, who checks, also bothering Kitten's Joy, and then goes on by Powers Court. We have a view of the head-on. And number 5, Better Talk Now, blue silks, blue and white silks. Watch him come over. Comes over there. The jockey trying to get the whip out, Dominguez, to keep him off the horses inside him, hitting him left-handed to try to keep him straight. But Kitten's Joy had to switch to the outside, and Magistretti had to check. Let's go to Donna Brothers.
Ramon, tell me about what happened through the stretch.
Well, I really feel like Johnny was kind of in a bad spot in that moment, and he really had to keep his horse's momentum, and the horse in front might have come out some, and I really feel like I just held my ground, and it was a matter of time before he had to check his horse, but I didn't come over him, or I didn't cross his path.
I think that's the way Tom Hammond saw it too. Now let me just congratulate you. Hopefully that remains. This is your first Breeders' Cup day, and you get a winning mount for Grand Motion.
Yes, I want to say hello to everybody in Delaware Park, and Pimlico as well, because I know they are big supporters. And thank my connection for giving me such a big opportunity. I feel blessed, and I feel great about winning this race.
Well, Ramon, as I said, it's your first Breeders' Cup day. Grand Motion's been here before, but this is his first winner. What are you going to tell him when you get back?
I'm just going to tell him thank you for such a big support and for having faith on me, and hopefully we can get another one eventually.
All right, well, I guess the stewards are taking a look at it right now. We're going to go back to Tom. Thank you, Ramon, and congratulations.
All right, Donna, congratulations. Maybe the stewards are looking at the videotape to try to determine if Better Talk Now was at fault. The inquiry sign has been posted. They're looking at Better Talk Now, and did he interfere with the second place finisher, Kitten's Joy? And remember the delay a year ago when they had the dead heat between High Chaparral and Johar in this race. Here it is again. Now Better Talk Now on the outside. Number 5, blue and white silks, comes over and watch Magistretti check. Kitten's Joy on the inside of Better Talk Now. Was it enough to make a difference? That's what the stewards must decide.
Better Talk Now is a gelding, and they gelded him because he could be a little quirky. He's got some moves, and he showed them off today a little bit. So for Grand Motion, his first trip to the Breeders' Cup and his hopefully first win, but there's a lot going on through the stretch there. Kitten's Joy, it's also some indecision going on which way to go.
John Velazquez on the phone talking to the stewards. You saw them winding and rewinding that tape to look at it several times. There's Edgar Prado, who rode Magistretti, who definitely had to check also. John Velazquez.
Thank you, sir.
John, if we could ask you what you spoke to these stewards about.
Well,
we went pretty hard right there in the 316 pull. Just kind of angled my horse out. Finally, I get a room where I'm comfortable to get him running, and the horse on the outside slamming back in where I was. I mean, if he does it quietly, I would be okay. But he slammed me pretty hard and put me in behind the other horse's heels, so it kind of stopped my momentum right there. And I mean, it really cost me the race, I believe.
Did he bother you more than Magistrati?
Yeah, I believe so.
You believe he should be disqualified?
Well, in my heart, yes. It's up to the stewards.
All right, John Velazquez, it's up to the stewards.
So Edgar Prado also had a phone talking to the stewards, and he was involved as well. Kenny?
All right, Tom, with Edgar Prado, you just got off the phone with the stewards. What did you tell them?
Well, it seemed like it was a combination of both horses. You know, the horse inside, Skid and Joe, he tried to get out, finding some room. And by the time he did, and the horse outside coming in too. So they really put me in the bad spot right there. So I had to take up a little bit. I think it cost me finish third, you know, in the race.
So Magistrati, you feel, was pinched off a couple of times?
Both times, you know, top of the stretch, the last 316 to a mount. As you watch the head on, you see the horse inside tried to get out, the horse outside coming in a little bit. It was a combination of both, and I think the steward had to look at it and see what happened.
You figure you'd at least be third better, you think, than that? Could you have won it, you think?
Yeah, I think so, you know. You know, in this kind of race, you know, you have to try everything, and he was giving 100%. I lose my momentum right there with 8 of a mile to go. You can't do that against these kind of horses.
All right, thank you, Edgar. Tom, we'll wait and see how they roll. Back to you.
Okay, Edgar saying that not only did Better Talk Now come over on him, there's Dale Romans, the trainer of Kitten's Joy, but Prado said that Kitten's Joy came out a little bit, and they sort of squeezed him as John Velazquez talks to Dale Romans. And look at the board, and the inquiry sign is down, and the result is official. It is official. Better Talk Now is the official winner, with Kitten's Joy second and Powers Court finishing third. So the inquiry resolved and the result official, and the winner is Better Talk Now, upsetting the heavy favorite Kitten's Joy to win the Breeders' Cup Turf. Welcome back to Lone Star, where Better Talk Now has produced the third biggest upset in the history of the Breeders' Cup Turf. Only Lashkari and Miss Alleged paid more. 57.80, heavy favorite Kitten's Joy second, Powers Court third. The 5-4 exacto, $134.80. After the claim of foul was disallowed and the result allowed to stand, and Tom Durkin is with the state steward to ask him about that decision.
This is Chuck Newber, the state steward here, and Judge, tell us why you ruled the way you did.
Well, we ruled the way we did, even though the betting public can see that there were some problems there. We felt that the 5-horse was obviously going to win the race, and it didn't really affect the placing of the horses, and the 4 was probably going to finish second where the 4 finished. In determining disqualifications in this state and other states, you always take in consideration the placings.
Magistrati actually did have to take up quite a bit there in the stretch, but you felt that Star with the Bay was so convincing in his victory there was no need as we look at it.
That's correct. If you look at this race, the 1 horse got out a little bit, as you saw there, and the 1 got out again a little bit, and the 5's just running by him. The 5's an easy winner. And the 4 comes on and finishes second, about the best it was going to finish.
All right, very good. A roughly run race, but the conclusion not changed.
No, sir. No, sir. It was a little rough, but it was the correct order finished.
Very good. We'll go down to Kenny Rice now with more.
Thanks, Tom. I'm with Ken Ramsey, the man who owns Kitten's Joy, the heavy favorite coming into this. Ken, you were taking another look at the replay while Tom Durkin talked with the steward. Obviously, you felt prior to that you had won the race, or you should have been the beneficiary of the objection. How do you feel now?
Well, I took a look at it. We obviously had to take up and check and then come out on the outside and start again. So I'm not saying it impeded our horse, but our horse did not get a clean run down the stretch. But I'm not saying that the winner was the one that cause of it. So tough break, but we'll live to fight another day, and we got another one coming up. Maybe Lady Luck will shine on us this time.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Ramsey, who does have another one coming up in the Classic Roses in May. Now let's go to the winner's presentation and Mike Battaglia.
Thanks, Kenny. And Better Talk Now springs the huge upset owned by the Bushwood Racing Stable, trained by Graham Motion, a good ride by Ramon Dominguez. And to make the presentation on behalf of John Deere, we have the manager of agricultural sales, Mr. Dennis Stewart, along with him, John O'Donohue, and he's the Minister of Arts Sports and Tourism in the government of Ireland. Dennis?
On behalf of John Deere and our 1,600 dealers, we'd like to say congratulations on a great race today and a great victory. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gentlemen, were you a little nervous when that inquiry sign went up?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Very much. Very exciting day. I'd like to say hi to my wife. She broke her foot last night. Couldn't come down. So, hey, Gina, we won this, baby.
There you go. And Ramon Dominguez, I know you've talked about this. I know your horse was coming in a little bit in the stretch, but you felt that you should stay up, and evidently the stewards agreed with you.
Yes, I mean, this hour has been on to log in, and I cannot use that today. I mean, I feel like I had total control of what my horse was doing, and if I don't feel like I came over, I feel like I just held my ground, and that's basically what happened, I feel like.
Thank you very much. And Graham Motion, we talked before, you were hot at Keeneland. You said you hope it carried over. It did carry over, your first Breeders' Cup winner.
Yeah, what a thrill. It's been a thrilling day. What a great day for horse racing here in Texas. It's been a great show, and it's been a beautiful day. I can't say enough.
Congratulations, Graham. Big upset in the turf with Better Talk Now, upsetting the 3-5 Kitten's Joy.
First Breeders' Cup win for trainer Motion and Jockey Dominguez, owned by the Bushwood Racing Partners. Better Talk Now, 5-year-old gelding by Talkin' Man from Berdita by Balsky, bred in Kentucky by Wimborne Farms. There is the complete order of finish. Well, coming up next will be the Breeders' Cup Classic. One of the horses in there will be the 3-year-old Birdstone. It's been an up and down year for him as the Champagne winner. He was one of the winner's favorites for the Kentucky Derby, but one poor performance and an illness made him 50-1 on the Derby morning line. A lackluster Derby, then spoiler in the Belmont. An odd year for one of racing's odd couples.
Do you think we're an odd couple?
Odd?
I don't know. I just think that we work very well together.
I would think in sports today, in the 21st century, you better have an odd pairing. It seems to work better.
It's been said that opposites attract. He's the Brooklyn-born trainer who clawed his way to the top of his profession. She is the Saratoga socialite whose name adorns museums and highways. But Nick Zito and Mary Lou Whitney have found something that brings them together.
Well, I've known Nick for a long time, and I thought he handled his horses terribly well.
She asked me to train a few horses for her. I said, absolutely. I've always got along with her. You know, there are a lot of good guys that come from places, you know, let's say it's humble beginnings, you know. That's what America is about, and that's where you get your opportunity.
Their opportunity came in the form of Birdstone, a smallish colt whose biggest victory was merely a postscript to Smarty Jones and his bid for the Triple Crown.
He knows how to make an entrance, doesn't he?
It was obvious that the show was wrapped around Smarty Jones. He was going for history, and we were lucky enough and blessed enough to be part of it.
Here comes Birdstone! Birdstone surges past! Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes!
It was a weird moment. It was kind of difficult with people sort of hissing and booing.
We're just thrilled to win this race, but we feel awful that the crowd came here to see Smarty Jones, and it's sort of a happy and sad note for us.
They are in the game. Cast as the villain, Birdstone's chance for respect and redemption would come 2 months later at the Travers Stakes.
Here comes the Belmont winner, Birdstone, and little Birdstone digs down in the darkness at Saratoga.
It was absolutely wonderful. It couldn't have been better.
I think we all got our due, and more importantly, Birdstone got his due.
He's given us so much pleasure. He's shown us everything in the world, and he's been so wonderful for us.
There is Mary Lou Whitney here with her husband John Hendrickson, and her Birdstone comes from Whitney bloodlines. He is a little guy but could pay big dividends today. A victory in the Classic, and Birdstone likely would be champion 3-year-old, maybe horse of the year. Nick Zito hopes he can pull it off with the little 3-year-old Birdstone. Back in a moment.
The
Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships are brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations. By John Deere, nothing runs like a deer. And by NetJets, leave nothing to chance.
Fans at Lone Star Park have never seen anything like the race that's coming up next. North America's richest race, the $4 million Breeders' Cup Classic, powered by Dodge. And this has most of the best horses in the world that are currently in training on the track. And it is a wide open race. You see the odds crawling beneath the picture as we go to Bob Newmeyer.
He is the son of Alan Paulson of cigar fame. His name is Michael Paulson, and he made a decision this week that shook the racing world on its ear, and that is your move to start a Zeri against the boys here in the Classic when you were pre-entered in the Distaff as well. Why'd you do it?
Challenge to climb a mountain. My father was a man like that. He was a maverick, and I went back through all the old articles of Breeders' Cup races, and my dad always took a chance. Even with the cigar, when he was going for the record, my father could have stayed in New York and won the 17th in a much easier race, but no, he flew out to California, put him in the Pacific Classic, and cigar ran a heck of a race. But that was my father, and that's part of his legacy, and I'm hopefully carrying it on.
Well, you realize you've been questioned, and people wonder, is this the right spot? Are you doing the right thing for a Zeri? No filly or mare has ever won this race. No filly or mare has ever run second. Two have only even tried. You feel that good about her chances?
Well, Zeri's never run in this race, and so people are going to see the true champion here. She's a 3 times Eclipse champion, horse of the year, and she deserves this chance. And this race is really about a Zeri, and my father used to be one of his last champions he bred, so I felt very confident.
Can a great filly tackle the boys? We'll find out shortly, Tom.
All right, Bob, and Jose Santos. Remember that Triple Crown run with Funny Side last year, those familiar Sakatoga stable Silks. And the Sakatoga guys, of course, are here. And they're with Kenny Rice.
Thanks, Tom. The boys are back in town. Jack Knowlton is here. Dave Mahan's here. It's been a while since we've seen you guys. Funny Side, though, coming on strong. Did you ever think, starting this year, that he would be back in a Breeders' Cup?
Well, that was our hope. Really, at the beginning of the year, we said, if we can win $1 million in purses, get back to the Breeders' Cup Classic, it'll be a great year. He made us sweat it out. We didn't get it done until the Jockey Cup Gold Cup, but he got it, and we're here.
You come in now just like you did for the Derby and the Preakness years gone by, it seems, but it was only a year ago. In your yellow bus, you brought it back out. Is that right, Dave?
Well, we thought the luck would help. The bus got us to the Derby and the Preakness in good order, so we thought the yellow bus one more time here. Plus, it was a cheap way of transportation.
Just like the old days with Sakatoga.
Absolutely. Save money if you can.
How many people do you have here cheering you on in your own little party?
We brought a party of 60 here and crammed them all on that one school bus.
What has been the big difference, you think, for Funny Side in the last few weeks that you feel confident in this very deep and strong field, Jack?
Well, I think Funny Side ran well all year. He just didn't get over the top until the Breeders' Cup race that he had to get to in Belmont. And we knew if we were going to come to this race, he had to win it. Barkley said that, and we agreed with him. He had a couple of real tough beats in graded races in the summer, and saved his best for the Jockey Gold Cup, and hopefully he's going to use that as a springboard for today.
All right, guys, good luck. Jack Knowlton and Dave Mahan, part of the Sakatoga stable with Funny Side. He becomes the 6th Kentucky Derby winner to race in the Classic as a 4-year-old. Let's go over to Mike Battaglia.
Thanks, Kenny. And about a year ago at this time, you were Saddle and Pleasantly Perfect, and he wound up being your 4th Breeders' Cup winner. This has to bring back some pretty good memories, Richard.
Those were good memories, but we can be sure that won't happen today. We put all our hopes in one here.
Well, how's he doing? How's he coming around? He's 6 years old now, and it just seems like he's still on top of his game.
He is. He's been good for over a year now, and we're just hoping he stays there.
You have talked about this being his last. He's going to Japan after this, and this is going to be his last season. How are you going to feel to lose a horse like Pleasantly Perfect?
Empty, very empty. When you look at a stall like his filled and what's in it, it's hard to imagine finding one as good to go back, but things do happen, so we just keep hoping.
What has he meant to your career and to racing, really?
Well, I think everybody. I think racing's prospered from him, and like I say, I hope we can just find another one to fill his place.
We hope he runs a big one today for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Richard. Pleasantly perfect. Looking to make it 2 in a row, Tom.
All right, Mike. He's getting some play at the windows, as you might expect, and currently is at 5-2, the favorite at the moment, as you see the odds crawl by there. And another horse to keep our eye on here, the horse that's unbeaten this year, Roses in May. This is the horse owned by Kenneth and Sarah Ramsey, and after the disappointment of Kitten's Joy as the favorite in the turf, finishing second, hoping they can pull off the upset here in the Classic.
Well, certainly a disappointment for the owners, the Ramseys, and also for Dale Romans, making his first appearance at the Breeders' Cup. He was beaten with Kitten's Joy at 3-5, and here he comes back with Roses in May. Here's a man who said he went to the University of Beulah Park. He's been a long trail down the road with a lot of claimant horses, and now he's reached the level he's always wanted to be. This horse is trained beautifully this week. He's won 5 races. He's 5 for 5 this year at 5 different tracks with 5 different jockeys. John Velazquez is riding him back for the first time he's had 2 riders back-to-back. So he should be very tough. He's one of the 2 speed horses in this race, along with Ghost Zapper.
And there's number 1. He's a speed horse also. That's Ghost Zapper. He's unbeaten in 3 starts this year, and one of the favorites at 9-2. Ghost Zapper on Halloween weekend. Are you kidding?
It's the grandest race on thoroughbred racing's biggest day, the $4 Million Classic. Richard Mandela returns with defending champion Pleasantly Perfect. Those crazy guys from Saratoga take aim again with Funny Side. Gambler, speculator, investor. Ken Ramsey brings us Roses in May. An odd couple with purpose lead Birdstone, spoiler of Smarty Jones' Triple Crown bid. Wayne Lucas brings a mare to the big show. Undefeated and undaunted, it's Ghost Zapper. No curses to be broken here today. Just hard work realized. All working towards one goal. To be the one.
And we'll know the one before long. At Lone Star Park, the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championship reaches the Breeders' Cup Classic, powered by Dodge. You see the current odds. Ghost Zapper at 4-1, getting some play. Pleasantly Perfect, the defending champion, is currently the favorite in the wagering as the horses begin their trek onto the track, and soon will turn for the official post parade. Roses in May there in the red and white, the jockey John Velazquez. See Jose Santos and the Funny Side Soaks. You remember those from the Triple Crown Trail in 2003. Just behind him, Newfoundland, and here is a look at the classic horses. And number 1 is Ghost Zapper, 4-year-old son of '98 Classic winner Awesome Again, owned by Frank Stronach, chairman of Magna Entertainment, the owner of this racetrack. He's won 4 straight, including the Woodward for Bobby Frankel, who converted him from a pure sprinter, though he's never been past 1 1/8. Number 2, Free for Internet, Greta Kunzweiler aboard, 6th in the mile on the grass last year. In fact, 27 of his 32 starts have been on the turf. He rallied from 25 lengths off the pace to win the Grade 2 Hawthorne Gold Cup on the dirt his last start. Number 3 is Azeri. She was 2002 Horse of the Year. She's now 6 years old, the richest female thoroughbred in history. She'd passed $6 million with a win today. The 3rd filly to run in the Classic. Cryptique was 6th in 1986. Jalifa 3rd in 92. She has won most of her races, 8th in her only race against the males, however, and only once at 1 1/4. Number 4, Perfect Drift, a 5-year-old gelding, makes his 3rd straight appearance in the Classic, 12th and last in 2002, 6th last year. Named for a fly fishing technique, he would hook the big one today. He's winless in 7 starts this year. Number 5, Fantastic Cat, 3-year-old, trained by Texas native Bobby Barnett, winner of the Super Derby in the mud at Louisiana Downs, a race that has produced 4 Classic winners. Number 6, Roses in May, undefeated in 5 starts this year, including a front-running victory in the Whitney at Saratoga. He's never raced beyond a mile and an eighth. 7 is Birdstone, the 3-year-old Belmont and Travers winner, the only horse ever to defeat Smarty Jones. Small, needs time between his races, so Nick Zito has given him 63 days off, but no Classic winner has failed to have a September or October prep, and he's been off the board in only 2 starts outside New York. Number 8, Personal Rush, Kentucky bred who came out early. He's raced in Japan. He won a Grade 1 race at a mile and a quarter there by 9 lengths. Number 9 is Funny Side, who finished 9th of 10 in the Classic last year, but he was coming off a 2.5-month layoff then. This year he comes in with momentum, a gutsy win in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and a blazing workout at Belmont this week that led Barclay Tagg, his trainer, to pronounce him the best he's ever been. 10 Newfoundland brought $3.3 million as a Keeneland yearling, second to Funny Side in the Gold Cup, competitive in top company, but has never won a Grade 1 Newfoundland. Number 11 is Bowman's Band, trained by the giant killer Alan Jerkins. It would be a giant upset for this horse to win. In fact, he's 0 for 10 this year, was 5th in the Gold Cup. And number 12, Pleasantly Perfect, defending champion, owned by Dallas businessman Gerald J. Ford. This year winner in 3 of 4, including the Dubai World Cup and Pacific Classic. But he's had a 69-day layoff, and he would join Tisnow if he wins today as the only 2-time Classic winners. And number 13, Dynaver, who was 3rd in the Classic last year, the only horse with a race over this track. He won the Lone Star Derby as a 3-year-old last year. A fast-closing 2nd in his last race, the Meadowlands Breeders' Cup, off a 3-month layoff. And that's the field of 13 for the $4 million Breeders' Cup Classic. See how the handicappers analyze this one, because there are a half dozen or so horses in here that you can make a good case for, guys.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that, Tom. And what I love about this field for $4 million this year, you have a little bit of everything. You have Azeri, a filly against the boys. You have a 3-year-old Birdstone against older horses. You have a horse like Ghost Sapper that's really untested against the iron. You have Pleasantly Perfect, last year's winner. You have Funny Side, as Tom said, the list goes on and on and on. This is a great race today.
And Roses in May, he's got a heck of a chance. I think this is also a great race, and it's a tough race to pick against Pleasantly Perfect, but I'm going to try. He's the favorite right now, and I really think he's the one to beat. 6 years old with a long layoff. I'm going to try to beat him with the 1, Ghost Zapper, and I just think that this horse is really, really good right now. Here he is in the Woodward last time out, and you see St. Liam floating him out, taking him out wide, but they've gone so quick on the front end. They've been flying. They went 3/4 in 8 and change, and Ghost Zapper still comes back and wins. Now, the main question mark with Ghost Zapper is the 1.25 miles. Can he get that added distance, Bob? But he has been so impressive in his last couple of races.
I mean, this is a running machine. We use the term freak in this business. It's a compliment, believe it or not. His speed figures are unbelievable. Maybe one of the fastest horses on paper, numbers-wise, we've ever seen in the history of the Breeders' Cup. Again, Mike points out the question of the distance, a legitimate one. Not so with Pleasantly Perfect, however.
No, not so with him. We know he can get the 1.25 miles. We know he's going to get a good trip. There's plenty of speed in here. Azeri has got speed. There's Pleasantly Perfect, last year's winner, but Azeri has got speed. Roses in May has got speed, and Ghost Zapper has got speed. So I think the pace will be legitimate, and if Pleasantly Perfect is good enough, he'll be able to run him down again.
Well, you mentioned Roses in May, Ken Ramsey's fine horse, and every clocker, every track man that has been here all week has all said the same thing, that no horse has trained better or looks better than Roses in May. Again, he's a front-running type, a pace-pressing type. He'll be around the front end, along with Azeri and horses like that, and Ghost Sapper. The question here, of course, is class, 1.25 miles, going against the likes of these horses. Then there's Birdstone, Mike, and that's a whole other issue. We know he can go
Funny
long.
Side. So, I mean, it's just a wide-open race. I'm taking Ghost Zapper.
And I'm with you. I'm with Ghost Sapper, too.
Rarely to see you guys agree on anything.
Side can run the race he ran before.
We ought to look at the Funny Side tape.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, because, I mean, this horse is the horse that America knows. This is Funny Side in his last race. And he looked hopelessly beaten here in the turn. He drops back off of the pace, looks like he can't get there, and here he is at the finish. Jose Santos is urging him on. He comes back and wins. This is one of the biggest races that Funny Side has run since probably the Preakness.
Well, he has not had a good year, let's be honest, but he's a gutsy, gelding horse, and the crowd loves loves him. He's 5-1 on the tote board here in the Breeders' Cup Classic, Tom.
A little surprised to see you guys agree. Fans still love Funny Side. They've made him 19% their favorites, Ghost Zapper and Pleasantly Perfect.
Bob Costas back at Lone Star Park. So far today at the Breeders' Cup, we've had the usual mix of favorites and long shots prevailing, along with some controversy tossed in. And now it's on to the Classic, a race with Horse of the Year implications. Defending champion Pleasantly Perfect in the field, along with past Horse of the Year Azeri. Funny Side, Ghost Zapper will be in the field. Roses in May as well. Birdstone. It truly shapes up as a classic as we go back again to Tom Hammond.
You're right, Bob. The storylines abound. Can the 3-year-old Birdstone win it? Can Azeri beat the males? Can Perfectly Pleasant do it again? And of course, Funny Side, the Saratoga stable guys who never fail to have a good time, are enjoying themselves again. They brought back the yellow bus. Can their gelding pull off one more? As we said, Barclay Tagg said he has never been better. Ken Ramsey, disappointment in his first 2 horses today. Nothing to Lose and Kitten's Joy. And now Roses in May. The odd couple have found a good spot to watch. Nervousness etched on the faces of Mary Lou Whitney and Nick Zito. Finally a smile as the horses head toward that Guinness starting gate for the $4 million race, the richest in North America. And you see on number 1, Ghost Zapper, the colors of Frank Stronach, whose Magna Entertainment owns this racetrack, Lone Star Park. You see the odds crawling beneath you. Pleasantly Perfect continues to be the favorite at 2-1. Ghost Zapper, the 3-1 second choice. What about strategy, Charlesy?
Well, I think the strategy was built in when Ghost Zapper drew the number 1. He certainly has got to go on with the early pace from there. Roses in May is a natural speed horse. I disagree with our handicappers. I think they're going to try to get Azeri to relax and sit back off them just a little bit. She was able to take back her only attempt at 1 1/4 miles. She was kind of cooked by a wicked pace. They don't want that to happen again. They've taken this shot with her in here. Wayne Lucas said, don't be afraid to get beat. Take a chance. So here she is. They're swinging for the fences, but they're going to try to do it just right and see if they can nurse her along that 1 1/4 miles.
At 14-1, she would have been odds on probably had she gone in the Distaff. Run at the Classic, American distance of 1 1/4 miles and a field of 13 for that $4 million purse. The Classic with Personal Rush there, the horse from Japan. There's the 1 1/4 mile distance, start on that chute, and then 1 complete circuit past the stands for the second time to the finish. Donna Brothers, everything in order so far with these experienced horses?
It does seem to be in order, Tom. You know, I'm a long ways from you. I'm up here at the quarter pole, and this crowd is wrapped around this turn, and they haven't stopped cheering for the most part. At some point, they're cheering for either Funny Side or Azeri or Pleasantly Perfect or Birdstone as they walk by. It is a star-studded cast, and you can tell from the crowd's reaction. They've all been great, though, Tom.
Yeah, so they appear to be very under control as they head into that starting gate now. And there is a look at Birdstone in the famous Whitney colors, Eden blue and brown, and Ghost Zapper in the inside post.
And Birdstone is a bit of a small fellow, as we've talked about. He's a May foal, and he's not very large, and as opposed to Pleasantly Perfect, who is an absolutely enormous horse. Here's Personal Rush. This is the colt who's come in from Japan. He hasn't settled very well this week. He's been a little frenetic. He seems acting better now than he has all week long training in the mornings.
There's Azeri. Can she do it? Become the first filly to win the Classic. And Funny Side. Can he return to glory? Wow, it's going to be some contest over this 1 1/4 miles. The Breeders' Cup Classic powered by Dodge. The first $4 million. They continue to load in good order. Fantastic at a long shot. And to his outside, Bowman's Band, another one lightly regarded in the betting. Or the call of the Classic. I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead, complete your thought.
I was going to say, Alan Jerkins said he was hoping for a miracle. The distance is a problem for Bowman's Band, but he said if he gets the perfect ride, he might get a piece of it.
There's Pleasantly Perfect, defending champion, and Tom Durkin with a Classic call.
The final horses moving into line for this all-star cast of the 21st Breeders' Cup Classic. In post position number 13, Dynever. Right next to him, last year's winner, Pleasantly Perfect. Ready for the start of the Breeders' Cup Classic.
comes away alertly on the inside. Free for Internet, backs off him, and Azeri takes the D inside. It's a big opening for Azeri on the inside of Gosapper, who's guided well off the rail. Roses and May is forwardly placed. Newfoundland is there on the outside. Bias for the first time now, and it's Roses and May, Gosapper on the outside, Newfoundland, and Azeri has been given the rail right up there with the boys. And then Japan's personal rush is 5th and in between horses. Perfect Drift on the inside is 6th in the early going. Dine Ever 4 wide 7th, and Funny Side is now back and in between horses running along in 8th. Birdstone down toward the inside, then Pleasantly Perfect followed by Bowman's Band and Fantastic Cat a long way back to a lackadaisical free for Internet. 23 and 2 was the opening quarter there. It's Ghost Zapper in front. Roses and May prompting the pace on the outside. Azeri up and down the pace. She's running 3rd toward the inside after a half in a legitimate 47 seconds flat. Newfoundland right up on the pace as well. And then it's personal rushes in between horses racing 5th. Funny Side being asked to pick it up early. He's now 6th on the outside. Asper Run 4 lengths from the front. Birdstone in and among horses. Die Never in the clear on the far outside. Perfect Drift rating comfortably 6 lengths from the front. Defending champion Pleasantly Perfect is 7th and now called on for Run as they round the far turn. Then Bowman's Band Fantastic Cat. Midway round the far turn. Ghost Zapper now tackled in earnest by Roses and May, and they're letting out off stops coming to the top of the stretch. Pleasantly Perfect catapulting past horses on the far outside as the field turns for home. Ghost Zapper has now shrugged off Roses and May. Pleasantly Perfect continues to rally down the center of the track. Azeri doing her best, but she's now 5th. In between horses, Perfect Drift. Ghost Zapper kicking clear, and Ghost Zapper is pulling away impressively. And a pumped up Javier Castellano. They have soundly defeated Roses and May. Pleasantly Perfect was a well-beaten 3rd. Perfect Drift was 4th. This was a no doubt about it winner. The final time was fantastic. 1 minute 59 seconds flat. There are the disappointed boys from Sackett's Harbor, a disappointed boy from Brooklyn as well, a disappointed guy from Artemis, Kentucky, but not so for Javier Castellano. Ghost Zapper, Bobby Frankel have won the Breeders' Cup Classic with style.
Well, Bobby Frankel said Ghost Zapper has done things that you don't expect horses to do. He was a pure sprinter. Everyone thought that he was going to make his mark as a sprinter. Frankel stretched him out. He said the 1.25 miles will be no problem. This is a fast horse, but he is a good horse, and he was decisively good today. Donna?
Javier, congratulations. You just won the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, I'm really so excited. I'm really so excited. I want to say thank you very much, Bobby Frank, for giving me a lot of confidence with the horse. Mr. Strona, Mrs. Strona. That's a race I give it to my father. He watches me. I love my father. I love everybody.
Javier, you look very happy. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. Tom, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Mike Battaglia just pick a winner?
And Bob Newmeyer, too.
Good for them.
The 5th consecutive win for Ghost Zapper, and this the biggest of all as he sprints by to take command in the stretch. The hand ride from Castellano, and Ghost Zapper, the awesome again colt, wins it. The 3rd Breeders' Cup win for Frankel, the 1st for Castellano. It's Ghost Zapper on Halloween weekend. Frank Stronach leading his Ghost Zapper, winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic, setting the Lone Star track record 159.02, which is also the Breeders' Cup record for 1.25 miles. Now for our Dodge Hemi winning performance, let's go to Trevor Denman.
Thank you, Tom. Well, the winning performance this afternoon, obviously coming from Ghost Zapper, but here's the filly who got a lot of attention out there is Zeri. She was one of the highlights of the show, and that shot there is so great. You can see the whip in the left hand is already out. Now let's take a look at Ghost Zapper on the lead. The jockey hasn't even thought about the whip, so right here you know Zeri's in trouble. She's getting a couple of whacks here, but there's just absolutely nothing there. Zeri just could not run against these guys today. Look at her, she's even trying there. She's stretching out, she's running her heart out. Bottom line, the boys were just too good for her. her today. She ran a creditable 5th. Let's go back, though, and take a look at that winner. What a win it was. He's on the lead. There's the tap on the shoulder. He takes off right there. Pleasantly perfect. Extreme outside is running on well with perfect drift. Both of those two had to go wide, but what a dazzling performance from Ghost Zapper this afternoon. Perhaps the Ghost Zapper is now wrapped up Horse of the Year on this performance today. A good run. Roses in May 2nd, but a great win from Ghost Zapper. Tom?
And that's our Dodge Hemi winning performance. Ghost Zapper, a 4-year-old colt by Awesome Again out of Baby Zip by Relaunch, bred by Frank Stronach's Adena Springs. He's also the owner, and he owned Awesome Again, who won the Classic as well in 1998. So like father, like son, Awesome Again sires the Classic winner, Ghost Zapper. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Tom. Here's the man that got the second best look today, Ghost Zapper. Aboard Roses in May, John Velazquez. What did you think when you came home in the stretch going up against Ghost Zapper?
I tell you what, I hooked up with him in the half-mile pole, and I got after him. And when 3/8 pole to the quarter pole, I thought we had a really good chance to get him. And the quarter pole, he kind of opened up 2 lengths on me. He had a little more than I did. He was a little better than my horse today. I'm very proud of my horse. He ran a huge race. I think he's just learning naturally. Even though he has won a lot of races on the lead, I think he's going to be a much better horse next year. And hopefully he'll be the best horse in the country next year.
Seems like you had a good second place, and the horse that beat you just had another gear on the rest of the field today, John.
I thought so. You know, the winner ran a humongous race today. Got him all, we have to give him all the credit, you know. So I thought my horse ran a great race also, but he was second best today.
All right, thank you. John Velazquez aboard the second place finisher, Roses in May. Tom?
Productive day for John Velazquez, too. He had 2 wins and 2 seconds, and both seconds coming on the Ken Ramsey-owned horses, Kitten's Joy and Roses in May in the Classic. There he is, Ghost Zapper, the hero of the hour, winner of the Breeders' Cup Classic. Back with a presentation in just a moment. Back at Lone Star Park, where the race is official, the Classic official, Ghost Zapper, the winner. Here's the complete order of finish. The prices, for some reason, a little delayed just now, went up. We'll have them for you momentarily. Ghost Zapper wins. As you see, the complete order of finish. Here's Mike.
Bush Axles. Thanks, Tom. Frank Stronach owns Ghost Zapper. Bobby Frankel trains Javier Castellano aboard to make the presentation today. We have the Honorable Governor of Texas. That would be Rick Perry, Anita Perry, the First Lady, and also on behalf of Dodge, Mr. Fred Diaz. And who's going to do the honors, gentlemen? Fred?
You make the honors over there.
Thank you, Governor.
Congratulations, brother. Proud of you.
Dodge is very proud of their relationship with the NTRA and the Breeders' Cup. And you know, when you think about it, when you think about horsepower, your horse and Dodge have a heck of a lot in common. Congratulations on a fantastic win, an exciting race. Enjoy your victory.
Okay, thank you. Well, Ghost Zapper, I think it was a giveaway. It was a Halloween special.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Thank you, Frank. Bobby Frankel, what a job getting this horse ready for this race. There were a lot of questions about the 1.25 miles. He'd never been that far. He just annihilated him. When they came at him at the top of the stretch, he looked like he had another gear.
Well, it's not that I did such a great job. He's a great horse, you know. And Javier rode him good, and he's been working him in the morning, so it was a great team effort.
When you saw him coming at him at the top of the stretch, and you know Roses in May had been giving him pressure, Pleasantly Perfect came to the outside, were you a little bit concerned?
The only reason I was a little concerned because my Breeders' Cup record's not that great, and but if it was a normal day, I would have been very, very confident.
How about the fact that, did you tell Javier to go off of the rail like that and let somebody like Azeri come through on the inside?
Well, there's a little thing about the rail being a little deep, so I said, you know, you got a slow horse outside, you should just come off the rail a little bit.
And Javier, what a ride. What a horse this is. You had a ton of horse all the way around.
Yeah, no, I really have a lot of the horse all the way in the race. I have a lot of confidence with the horse. I have a lot of success before with the horse. I love the horse. He did everything right today and have a good pace in the race, good trip, and he responded very well. And I want to say thank you very much, Bobby Frank. He did a good job with the horse. He gave me a lot of confidence with the horse. I really appreciate Mr. Strong and Mrs. Strong too.
Great. Javier, thank you. Congratulations. Bobby, thank you. Frank, congratulations. Back to Tom Hammond.
All right, Mike. Bobby Frankel had trained the beaten favorite the last 3 years in the Classic. This time he gets the money with Ghost Zapper. Ghost Zapper paying $7 to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. Coming up tonight on NBC, don't miss your chance to see Sci-Fi Network's hit reality shows, Scare Tactics and Ghost Hunters, followed by Law & Order Special Victims Unit. For our NBC crew, Tom Hammond saying so long from Lone Star Park, the 21st edition of the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships here on NBC.
good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
See you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place.
All
9
three of
a.m.
us?
Yep.
That's right.
All right. We're going to go out to Hollywood Park right now. Gary Seibel, Matt Carruthers will take it away.
All right, Greg. Thanks so much. We're feeling the love from you and Bob and Simon on the set.
Gary, you got
Matt
the fan
and I
on?
are looking to have a good time as well this afternoon. But can we provide the same kind of camaraderie that they did? In
I think
studio?
so. I think we're up to the task. It is a lovely day. Temperature approaching 80 degrees.
At least.
As Southern California goes, been very chilly the last, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We've been in a cold spell.
Yeah.
I suffer from seasonal affect disorder. So I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling happy. The warm weather makes me happy. And basically, this gives me a complete positive outlook on life.
And as we get ready for a post parade here at Hollywood Park, they're on the track, and we'll take a look. We were eating our dietetic lunch up in the press box today. Who comes by to tell us he's a big fan of TVG? The great Eddie Olczyk.
Eddie Olczyk.
How nice was that?
Won a,
Started our day off in a wonderful way.
Won the Stanley Cup with the New York Rangers back in 1994. Big fan of the network, and it was very nice to see Mr. Olczyk.
Now the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins if they ever start playing hockey again.
Right.
All right, let's take a look at the field. Carla Rose, the one went on through, a big winner last time.
She beat Simler by 5 lengths in her last start. She likes to win, 7 for 23. Ton of pace to run at in here, right direction. The 2 fast, the 3 slews. Jewel, very quick, coming out of a 4.5 furlong race at Los Al, stretching out to 5.5. Scratch the 4, Suspicious Caper.
Omar Barrio aboard this one for AC Avila. Hasn't been out since Del Mar, the end of August. The 5, Magnolia May going on through.
She's been facing better, but she hasn't raced since the 20th of May.
Scratched out. Suspicious Caper.
Yep, and she's a freebie. More speed on the outside. The opener in Hollywood sets up beautifully for your favorite, Carla Rose. Currently the 1 horse is 3-2.
All right, now we are at the fairgrounds in New Orleans. Race number 5 is coming up in 4 minutes, and we have a post parade for race number 5. This is kind of like some bonus coverage for Matt and I. This is the Louisiana Juvenile Statebreds here. It's all part of Louisiana Champions Day at the fairgrounds, 14th running of this race here, and this is going to be an excellent program at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, they're betting the 1A, not the 1 in the entry. The entry's at 4-1. Smilin' finds an undefeated 2 for 2. Talking about the 1A, the 2 horse at 13-1. This one on by Willie's Choice, won by a neck at 9-1. That was on the grass though in his last start. Back on the dirt here, 19-1 on the 3 horse, who's also coming off a win against softer, obviously, state-bred maiden foes.
All right, take a look at the 4 in here.
Witness to a Flight.
Witness to a Flight. 3rd career start, was 6th in State-bred Allowance Company last time out.
Yeah, St. Rock, the 7 horse, just beat this horse by 9 1/4 lengths, although the 4 was the favorite in that race. Crimson Stag, he was second in his last race, Gary, but he was beaten 7 3/4 lengths. That was at Keeneland, though, in an allowance race. The 7 horse, good value here. This horse has some speed, just beat several in this race, and that gate-to-wire score for him, that was an hours of 2 lifetime race at the fairgrounds just a couple of weeks ago. 30-1 on the 8. Bad to the Bone and Drew. 5 lengths behind the 7 horse in that last start. Z-Storm was second in that common race on the 25th of November and scratched the 10 favorite Minute.
Louisiana Champions Day Juvenile, 2 minutes away. It's the 5th at the fairgrounds. We'll have it for you when we return here on Trackside Live.
They're off and running at North America's best online wagering company, WinTicket.com. With 1 click, you'll get instant sign-up and instant wagering with free video, free past performances, free stable alerts, and free race replays. And there are no fees. Get on the winning track. WinTicket.com, America's most successful and fastest growing online wagering company. WinTicket.com. Over 120 tracks. Just 1 account.
You are a traveling movie theater. You are a roving jukebox. You have no wires to hold you back. Introducing the HP Pavilion Notebook with Intel Centrino mobile technology, starting at $9.99 after rebates. Connect, download, and print remotely with built-in wireless capability. Listen to music or play DVDs at the touch of a button with HP's exclusive Quick Play feature and optional remote control. Sit back and enjoy your favorite movies, alone or with a friend, on the high-definition widescreen display. Call now and get a free CD burner upgrade and free shipping. Order by December 11th so you'll have it by December 24th. The HP Pavilion Notebook with Intel Centrino mobile technology. It's the home theater for when you're not at home.
If you like betting on the action, then you'll love being a part of it. Solaris Racing is offering horse enthusiasts the chance of a lifetime. The thrill of thoroughbred ownership. All horses are selected and trained by top conditioner Linda Rice, including Solaris Racing's most recent Grade 1 winner, Lucifer Stone. And with no markups and no administration fees, you'll own a team of horses to compete at the highest level of racing for a minimal investment. So call Solaris Racing today at 888-888-6297 and get in on the action.
This is the Interactive Horse Racing Network, TVG.
Welcome back to Trackside Live. Thanks for being with us on this Saturday afternoon. I'm Priscilla Hojawala. We'll be sending you out to Hollywood Park to join Gary and Matt on a big Pick 6 carryover day out there. We'll be talking all about that in a little bit, but right now we take you live out to Turfway Park as we're coming up on race number 6. Do want to let you know as we take a quick peek out there at Florence, Kentucky, that we have a muddy track for this maiden special weight race. 2-year-old fillies will be going 6.5 furlongs in here. We're going to scratch the 13, so still a nice full field of 12 with the 1, your 5-2 favorite. That is Allie's Rita, who makes her 3rd start today. While they're getting ready for the 6th at Turfway, we take a look at the results from the 7th at Aqueduct, where Our Rite of Spring paid $4.10. Strategy with the place, Take Me There with the show. It's Our Rite of Spring. Taking the 7th at Aqueduct. The 8th is the Garland of Roses handicap, coming up in about 18 minutes. They do have a muddy track, as you saw out there. So keep that in mind when handicapping this race. Should be a good one. See Cologne there at 6-5. Sensibly Chic at 5-2. Travelator at 6-1. The Garland of Roses handicap coming up in just a bit at Aqueduct. And a good race coming your way from Calder as well. It's the Pete Axthelm for 3-year-olds, going 7.5 furlongs over the firm turf course. You see the 13 through 16 are scratched, and a wide open race right now. The 7 in here. Fort Prado is at 3-1, coming off that 6th place effort in the Commonwealth Turf at Churchill Downs back on November 14th. And it's a huge day out at Hollywood Park, and a beautiful warm day as well. Temperatures in the upper 70s today in Inglewood. 3 minutes away from the opener, a $10,000 claiming race for fillies and mares going 5.5 furlongs. Just one scratch in here. It's the 4, Suspicious Caper. The 1, Carla Rose, is your even money favorite. She comes in off a 5-length win, and of course coming up a little bit later on, that huge Pick 6 carryover of more than $300,000. We'll be telling you all about that at Hollywood Park in just a little bit. Right now, we take you out to the fairgrounds. A great race coming up here. It's the 14th running of the Louisiana Champions Day Juvenile. 2-year-old colts and geldings. Louisiana breds going 6 furlongs for a purse of $100,000 in here. You can see it's the 6 that's caught the attention of the wagering public. That's Crimson Stag from the Dallas Stewart barn. 2-year-old colt by Glitterman, ridden by Robbie Alvarado. Finished 2nd last time out against Allowance Company, non-winners of one other than, going 6.5 furlongs at Keeneland back on October 29th. And has finished in the money 3 times in his 5 lifetime starts. The 7, just to his outside, St. Roach, showed some speed last time out. In fact, went gate to wire in that 3-length win against non-winners of 2 lifetime at the fairgrounds on November 25th. So we'll see if we can repeat that performance here today in the Louisiana Champions Day Juvenile. Looks like a fantastic day out there for racing at the fairgrounds. There is the 6, your heavy favorite, moving into line here. With Robbie Alvarado aboard. Of course, historic week for him as he got his 3,000th win earlier this week. The 7 moves in. There's a good look at the 1A, Smilin' Fine, who hasn't raced since July 3rd, so we'll have to see how this 2-year-old gelding does in his comeback effort today. There is the 4, Witness to a Fight, from the Merrill Shearer barn, ridden by Larry Melanson. Just a couple more to go here. I think we're waiting on the 9, Z-Storm. Z-Storm, ridden by Corey Lannery, trained by Wesley Hawley. This one also with a good effort last time out, finishing 2nd, beaten 3 lengths against Allowance Company over at the fairgrounds on November 25th. Comes out of that same race as the 7, St. Roach, which St. Roach won by 3 lengths. Z-Storm finished right behind him in that effort. Looks a little bit skittish here today, but I think they're going to get him in there. The 10.
Now they're in
No,
the
that's
gate.
it, the 9. Here we go with the 14th running of Louisiana
running in the
Champions Day Juvenile.
Robbo breaks fast between horses. Crimson Stag is right there, and there's St. Brock as they race up the backstretch. JD's Blue Bayou showing good speed from the rail. It's Robbo bracketed at both sides by St. Brock and JD's Blue Bayou, with Crimson Stag tracking fourth. Witness to a Fight is fifth. Willie's Choice sixth at the rail. Bad to the Bone Andrew is five from the front past the half-mile pole, while Z-Storm takes a wider track. Smile and Fine is also in and among juvenile horses and now improving his position, and X-Man has dropped out to last. 22 and 3 the opening quarter. 3 furlongs to go. St. Brock up now to Robbo. Robbo and St. Brock on even terms, and Crimson Stag looms on the outside at the quarter pole. Smile and Fine fourth. Witness to a Fight fifth. Bad to the Bone Andrew, Z-Storm, JD's Blue Bayou has dropped back. They're coming down toward the final furlong. Here's Crimson Stag, who now strikes the front in the final furlong. At the rail is Robbo under pressure. St. Brock is flattened out. Far outside, Smile and Fine, and Witness to a Fight toward the rail. They're inside the final half a furlong. Robbie Alvarado and Crimson Stag to win the juvenile going away. Robbo second, St. Brock third. Witness to a Fight held on to run fourth.
And it is Crimson Stag getting the win, taking the 14th running of the Louisiana Champions Day Juvenile, with Robbie Alvarado aboard for trainer Dallas Stewart. Those prices from the fairgrounds coming your way in just a moment. We take you back live to Hollywood Park, where we're getting ready for the opener on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Southern California. The one Carla Rose is your odds-on 4-5 favorite right now after she won by 5 lengths last time out against this $10,000 claiming level. She is already 7 for 23 a lifetime. Opener from Hollywood Park coming up in just a little bit, but right now, big race coming your way from Calder. It's the Pete Axhelm Stakes, 3-year-olds going 7.5 furlongs over the turf course here. You see the one Grand Heritage currently 7-2 on the board. Trained by Bill Mott, this horse comes into this race off a win in the Patterson Stakes at the Meadowlands. That was 1 1/16 miles on the turf, so cuts back in distance today, but has a nice series of bullet works leading up to this race today, trying the Calder turf for the first time. The 7 in here is at 3-1. That is Fort Prado from the Elliott Walden barn. And this horse with a good second place finish, 2 starts back in the Stormcat Stakes. Followed that up with a 6th place effort in the Commonwealth turf at Churchill last time out. I think they're just about set to go here, so we'll turn it over to track announcer Phil Saltzman for the call. The Pete Axhelm Stakes, they're going 7.5 furlongs. Good luck.
They're all in the gate. And they're off in the Pete Axhelm Stakes. Toward the outside, that's Dashboard Drummer that moves for the lead with Frisky Spider toward the hedge. Half length back, it's Heart of Jewels. Then toward the inside, that's Gin Rummy Champ. It's another half length in tight quarters. That's Grand Heritage hugging the hedge. Then it's another length back to Caballero Negro. Between horses, it's Sovereign Honor. Then it's 2 lengths back to Wire Bound. Inside of him, it's Quacker's Appeal. It's another 2 lengths back. That's More Burb taken in hand. Then there's a break of 6 lengths to Kaiman. And toward the inside, Fort Prado is the trailer. They went the first quarter in 22-1. Up the backstretch they go. Heart of Jewels on the outside leads by a length with Frisky Spider in second position. 4 lengths back to Gin Rummy Champ. Outside of him, it's Dashboard Drummer. A length and a half back to Caballero Negro. Then moving on the far outside, it's Wire Bound. Toward the inside, it's Sovereign Honor. Looking for him, Grand Heritage. Then toward the far outside, More Bird moves up. It's another half length back. Toward the outside, Quacker's Appeal. 3 more lengths, it's Fort Prado, and 6 lengths to Kaiman. The hat, 45 seconds flat. Past the quarter pole to the top of the stretch of the Pete Axhelm Stakes. On the outside, Gin Rummy Champ emerges with the lead, a length and a half. On the outside, Dashboard Drummer. Caballero Negro between horses. Far outside, it's Wire Bound. Then widest of all, More Burb. They come through the final 16th now. Gin Rummy Champ on the outside. Here comes Wire Bound. It's Wire Bound. He takes the Pete Axhelm by a half length. Caballero Negro a game second on the outside. More Burb was third.
Nice run by the 12th horse in here, Wire Bound, with Eduardo Nunez aboard. This 3-year-old gelding by He's a Bull finished 7th last time out in a stakes race here at Calder. That was going 1 1/8 miles on the turf, so it looks like he's a horse that can run on the grass either long or short. That race 1 1/8 miles. Today's contest, of course, 7.5 furlongs. It's Wire Bound who finished 7th in that disappointing effort, getting back to the winner's circle today. He's a horse that loves this Calder turf, that's for sure. He's 4 for 7 over it now, and now has 6 wins in 15 tries. The 12 wire bound, taking the Pete Axholm Stakes at Calder. The official results along with the prices coming your way in just a few moments. Right now, we take you out to Hollywood Park so we can show you the opener on a big Pick 6 day, and I know